is the Earth. Kind of. This is a sphere. The Earth, as we know, is absolutely not flat. Now, I made a video a while back proving it was flat because it was funny. And at the beginning of the video, I put a disclaimer saying that it was a joke. I didn't actually think the Earth was flat. But a lot of people were like, wait, do you actually believe that the Earth is flat? Do you actually think that? Wow, you are so stupid and dumb and big and fat and stupid. Wow, I cannot... Listen here. I am going to take my name back. Also because I think this would make for a good YouTube video. I know for a definitive fact that the Earth is a ball, more like an egg shape, but still three-dimensional. A semi-spherical shape. Not a semi, like a mostly, you get it. Because a lot of people actually believe that the Earth is flat. It is time to prove that the Earth is round. How do I prove that the Earth is round, you might ask? Do I just tell you my proof? No! We're going straight to the source. I have found an entire website made by real flat earthers with 200 proofs that the Earth is flat. How are there 200? I don't know if I could come up with 200 reasons why the Earth is round. But today, I don't care how long this video is. I don't care if it takes 20 minutes, or 30 seconds, or 2 hours, or however long. I'm going to disprove all 200 of these one by one with logic and brain power from my spherical head. Boys! Let's just start this out. By the way, I'm not sure if I'm going to edit this a lot or not. I'll edit the intro probably. I don't know if I'll edit the rest of it. I just want to get this out there, you know? Starting with number 1. And yes, I'm going to do all 200. This video is going to be long. It's going to be a long video. Number 1. The horizon always appears as perfectly flat, 360 degrees around the observer regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show a completely flat horizon over 20 plus miles high. Only NASA and the government space agencies show curvature in their fake CGI photos/videos. Alright, common misconception. As you can see, okay. The horizon looks relatively flat, because it is very flat. In fact, cameras cannot capture all the way around the Earth. That just doesn't make sense. This is mainly due to, okay, the reason that it looks like this is mainly because of 2 reasons. 1, it curves so slightly, so just barely. Like, when people think of a round Earth, they think of like that. Like, you look at it, oh, I can't see the Earth curving. No, it's so, the Earth is gigantic. The Earth is huge. It's a giant rock in space. It is not going to just be able, you can't just see it curve like that. If you look very closely around the side, with the very keen eye, you can barely see less than 0.01 of a degree turn. That, you know why you cannot see it? Because it's so minuscule, but it's still there. It just goes very far. The other reason is because light is captured in by gravity, which is in the center of the Earth, for all you flat earthers, and light then goes through the sky and curves along with it. Now, this is taken from a semi-space angle, it seems, seen as you can see, that was a lot of anyway, seeing as you can see the top where it's like black space, then, yeah, light isn't curving as much, it's more due to the first thing, but a normal picture, that's why if you were to look very far. Anyway, next one. 2. The horizon always rises to the eye level of the observer as altitude is gained, so you never have to look down to see it. If Earth were in fact a globe, no matter how large, as you ascend to the horizon, you would stay fixed and the observer/camera would have to tilt looking down further and further to see it. This is pretty much the same thing as the first thing, except you're not completely in, like, you're not in space anymore. This one, okay, first off, I don't know if you ever noticed this, yes, if you walk far enough away from a camera, you will disappear from it. I thought that was common knowledge. Because according to this, you're just apparently supposed to be able to see them forever as they keep walking. No, remember, the Earth's curves is so minuscule. You can't even tell. It's so minuscule. You can't even tell unless you're at a space level. Easy. Number 3. This one's a big one. Oh boy. I'm only on 3 out of 200. I'm 1% of the way done. The natural physics of water is to find and maintain its level. If Earth were a giant sphere tilted, wobbling, and hurtling through through infinite space, then truly flat, consistently, wait, is that right? Yeah, I can read. Consistently level surfaces would not exist here. But since Earth is in fact an extended flat plane, this fundamental physical property of fluids, why are there so many sounds? This fundamental physics property of fluids finding and remaining level is consistent with with experience, and common sense. What is this one even saying? Hold on. Natural physics of water is to find and maintain its level. Okay, so water is supposed to... Okay, so I see what they're saying. Water is supposed to remain level. Okay, so I guess they're referring to the waves? I guess, because water is level if it weren't for waves. First off, just know, the Earth is in constant motion, so that's going to do a little bit of effect to the waves, to the ocean, to everything, alright? That'll cause it, along with factors like wind and all that, but the main factor is the moon. The moon, of course, has its own gravitational pull, just like anything in the universe. I have a gravitational pull. It's so minuscule, it's a nothing. It's 0.0000% compared to the Earth. Everything does, but the moon has its own that's relatively noticeable. Not nearly as big as the Earth, but when the moon passes over some sort of place, its gravitational pull, it's not nearly big enough to pull anything specific out, but it does slightly affect the tides. And if you've heard of the butterfly effect, it just makes it keep growing and keep pushing to the point where it just continues going pretty much forever. This is still recording, right? Okay, good, it is. I'm just making sure. I don't want to miss this. Don't want to do this all for nothing. Okay, good. Because sometimes, I remember one time I recorded a video and it did not go through, and I was really sad because I had to re-record it. Anyway, simple. Number 4. Rivers run down... Oh, wait, I don't know if you guys can see it from over there. Okay. Rivers run down to sea level, finding the easiest course, north, south, east, west, and all over intermediary directions over the Earth at the same time. If Earth were truly a spinning ball, then many of these rivers would be impossibly flowing uphill. For example, the Mississippi, in its 3,000 miles, would have to ascend 11 miles before reaching the Gulf of Mexico. One portion of the Nile River Oh, wait, no. That's number 5. Okay, so I see what it's saying. So water would have to travel uphill. Okay, keep in mind a couple things. First off, momentum. Momentum goes... By the way, I'm no science whiz. This is what I'm pretty sure is the correct answer. I could be wrong. But I'm sure I'm not going to be wrong for all 200 of these. First off, momentum. Water's already flowing. It's not just going to stop flowing. And the 11 miles, it's not an immediate 11-mile ascent. It's like, it's kind of like a rocky path, except really extended. So, like, it doesn't just go down, but it doesn't just ascend 11 miles immediately. It goes, kind of like this. It kind of waves up and down. Kind of like if you're on a water slide. Have you ever been on a water slide where, like, it goes like that, right? So it kind of, like, either goes flat or goes up. Like, when it gets to that part, you have enough momentum where you don't just, like, oh, you stop here and then you just go back and forth until you land right in the middle. No, you just keep going because you have enough momentum. On top of that, that's pretty much that reasoning I can think of. I mean, it already has so much momentum, and water has to get from point A to point B. So the only other option it can do is flood, which sometimes it ends up doing. 5. One portion of the Nile River flows for 1,000 miles with a fall of only 1 foot. Parts of the West African Congo, according to the supposed inclination and movement of the ball Earth, would be sometimes running uphill and sometimes down. This would also be the case for the Parana, Paraguay, and other long rivers. Okay, so this is saying that it only goes down 1 foot, but it continues to flow in that direction. Okay, so this is kind of the same for that one with momentum from before, but keep in mind, ascent doesn't only have to do with, something going up or down. Like, for instance, Mount Everest, a very large... Actually, wait. Well, what's a bigger mountain than... Actually, I guess Mount Everest is, like, one of the biggest. Anyway, Mount Everest, very large, alright? Very large mountain. Earth's gravitational pull, it's not just, like, in the center of this ball. It's not just, like, a little dot, alright? It pulls in from the outside layer. Here's the outside layer. For instance, let me get my marker and draw this one out. This is why I have a whiteboard here. Say that this is Mount Everest, alright? A very quick little example. That's Mount Everest, alright? And then this is the gravitational pull right in the middle, alright? I hope you guys can see this, alright? So, this is the gravitational pull right in the middle. You see, it's going to be pulling in equally from everywhere, from, like, regarding the surface. Not like this extends a certain amount, but when it gets to here, notice how the surface is way further out? It's going to extend further out, kind of like that. So that means the gravitational pull will now be like that. Anywhere there's like a large mountain, it extends a little bit further in that direction. And it pretty much just keeps doing that. So this has the same this area has the same gravitational pull as this. So the ascending thing doesn't even make sense. It all just relates back to momentum, I think. Where'd the cat go? That's what I would say. There's probably some other physics things behind it, but that's just a general explanation for simple concepts, I guess. If Earth were the ball, 25,000 miles in circumference, as NASA and modern-day astronomy claim, spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downward and easily measurable 8 inches per mile, multiplied by the square of the distance. This means along a 6-mile channel of standing water, the Earth would dip 6 feet on either end from the central peak. Every time such experiments have been conducted, however, standing water has proven to be perfectly level. Okay, hold on. What is this even saying? Hold up. If Earth is what we think it is, I don't know why they use such big words. I think they just do that to confuse people who don't know big words. It's working. Spherical trigonometry, okay. Trigonometry? Trigonometry is the measure of a triangle. What is this saying? Does this have to do with this one? Oh, I think it does. Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, okay, I think I see what it's saying a little bit. Dictates that the surface of all standing water must curve downward and easily measurable 8 inches per mile. Okay, well, do you know why you can't tell that it curves down 8 inches per mile with perfect sea level? Well, first off, it's very difficult to measure perfect sea level as, like, in the beginning, based on the fact that, oh, hey, everything I said about the tides and all that. But on top of that, the reason it's not measurable is because as you go along, you're not just, keep in mind, when you're not going along to measure it, say that you start measuring it right here, and I hope you can see that. You start measuring it here, and you end measuring it here. The path you're going to travel, what they're assuming is that, and then when it gets there, this little distance here should be 8 inches. But that's not the case. You're traveling along the Earth's surface. You can't. There's no plausible way of traveling just in a straight line like that without being affected by gravity. So it's very difficult to measure that. No wonder no studies have been able to prove that, because that's very difficult to measure. Also, it just doesn't make any sense to try to measure that either. Number 7. Surveyors, engineers, and architects are never required to factor the supposed curvature of the Earth into their projects. Canals, railways, bridges, and tunnels, for example, are always cut and laid horizontally, often over hundreds of miles without any allowance for curvature. Okay, so, according to this, let's just use this example of a railway right here, a railroad, okay? So, they're saying that they don't have to account for curvature. Technically, they don't. The Earth is so generally flat, along with all of its hills and stuff, that it's very difficult to know the exact curvature of the Earth. However, they're just assuming in this that this is one straight piece of metal. This isn't multiple pieces of a metal rail combined, just one of the sides. It's not like this one. It's not like this 100-foot long piece with this 100-foot long piece with this 100-foot long piece, something like that. They're assuming it's just one long piece of metal. Sure, if it was just one long piece of metal, they would have to account for curvature. But the fact that they're laying it down on the ground as they're welding it just means that they're not going to have to do that. Same thing, like I told you, the curvature of the Earth is so minuscule. Like, it's not even noticeable. Canals, why would you need to worry about that for canals? That's literally just digging area for water. Railways, I said, bridges and tunnels, it's so minuscule. There's nothing to factor in. Like that's literally it for that. Is that Suez? Let's just say Suez Canal, connecting the Mediterranean with Red Sea, is 100 miles long without any locks, making the water an uninterrupted continuation of the two seas. When constructed, the Earth's supposed curvature was not taken into account. It was dug along a horizontal datum, line 26 feet below sea level, passing through several lakes from one sea to the other, with the datum, line and water surface running perfectly parallel over 100 miles. First off, no such thing as perfectly parallel. Just throwing that out there. Secondly, in specifics, what is this even saying? Dug along. By the way, I did not look at any of these before I started this video. I'm literally just reacting to these now. Like, I didn't take into account any of these, so I'm literally just coming up with this based on logic I have. When constructed, the Earth's supposed curvature is not taken into account. You don't have to take it into account. Okay, 100 miles, that's a good amount. Maybe you should take something into account if it were necessary. But, it's not! It's so minuscule. Okay, listen, okay. 100 miles isn't even that much to begin with, believe it or not. Fun fact. Passing through, well, I don't even know what it's trying to say here. Without any locks, making the water uninterrupted continuation of two seas. Oh, okay, so it's just like a flat thing of water? Yeah, okay. So, it's, what's the problem? There's not even, this isn't even evidence. This is just a fact. Like, it's not even evidence. It's just a fact. Like, yeah, the two seas are connected with water. That's the fact. There's no evidence toward a flat Earth whatsoever in that. Stop trying to confuse me with your big words. That doesn't make. Oh my gosh, why is number 9 so long? Engineer W. Winkler was published in the Earth Review regarding the Earth's supposed curvature, stating, "As an engineer of many years' standing, I saw that this absurd allowance is only permitted in school books. No engineer would dream of allowing anything of the kind. I have projected many miles of railways and many more of canals, and the allowance has not even been thought of, much less allowed for. This allowance for curvature means this, that it is 8 inches for the first mile of a canal, and, and increasing at the ratio by the square of the distance in miles." This sounds very familiar to the other one. Thus, blah, 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 blah. I'm not reading the whole thing. It's just the same thing as before, talking about how, oh, it should have curved. Yes, because it does curve. Because it does curve. Keep in mind, there are also flat areas, and there are hilly areas, and all that. You can't, there's no such thing as just a flat place. It can't just be flat. Alright, if you were to measure it with, like, just staying straight, then yes, the change would be so minuscule that you would subconsciously adjust yourself every time you were slightly off. For instance, this marker, for instance. All right, look, this is exactly straight, correct? Just like without the cap, just the like white area in the middle, exactly straight, right? Wrong. You see, it seems exactly straight, but in reality, it has a very rough surface. It's not exactly smooth. So nothing can be exactly straight. Just like that. It's so minuscule that we just automatically adjust it. There's nothing that we can do to really measure that without going to like a microscopic level. Simple. Next. Number 10. The London and... The London and Northwestern Railway... Okay, well, I'm slouching. It hurts. Forms a straight line 180 miles long between London and Liverpool. The railroad's highest point... midway at Birmingham Station is only 240 feet above sea level. If the world were actually a globe, however, curving 8 inches per mile squared. Why does it keep bringing that up? Okay, sure. The 180-mile stretch of rail would be... okay, so it's just talking about the same thing. That's just the same thing. It's all already factored in. Listen, gravity pulls everything in equally. It pulls everything in equally. They're all just the same piece of evidence, but different locations around the Earth. This railway, this tunnel, this canal, it's all the same evidence, except it's all wrong. They're just, don't even, oh my gosh. All right, next one. I'm not reading this whole thing for number 11. A surveyor and engineer of 30 years, published in Birmingham Weekly Mercury, stated, "I am thoroughly acquainted with the theory and practice of civil engineering. However, by-goaded some of our professors may be in the theory of surveying according to the prescribed rules, yet well known amongst such, incapable of any practical illustrations." That's in all caps, so I want to read it. "All of our locomotives are designed to run on true levels or flats, because the Earth is so minusculely curved. It's curved, but it's so minuscule. It's so, like, okay. So they're basically saying I could not possibly have a railway go all the way around the Earth and have a train practically go on it. Like, assume that we could run it all the way through the oceans or whatever. They're just saying, oh, there's just an edge. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. That literally, I hate that my evidence is just that doesn't make any sense, but it literally doesn't. Just go based on what I said before. That's 11 done already. Look at that. 12. The Manchester, I can read. The Manchester Ship Canal Company, published in the Earth Review, stated, it is customary in railway and canal constructions for all levels to be referred to a datum shore, which is normally horizontal, is so shown on all sections. Okay, whatever. It is not practical in laying out public works made for allowance of curvature. It's so minusculely curved. I'm just going to say that. Minusculely curved. Next one. Next one. Just know every time I say minusculely curved, it just means it's curved so little at any given point. Like, look, the places that they're measuring, assume that this is the Earth right here, all right? This is getting kind of confusing. Hold on, let me back this camera up a little bit. All right. So, let me erase some of the random stuff I have inside and the mountains and all that. All right. So, assume that the circle here on here, yep, that I drew in red is the Earth, right? Okay, cool. So, they're saying, say that I were to measure, I'll hold it up like this, say that, they're saying, how come from this part here to this part here, we don't have to factor in curvature? Because this is a good amount of curvature, right? But they're not saying that. They think they're saying that, but no, they're actually measuring a distance from, let's say, here, this point right here, this is distance 1, 2, here, this is distance 2, distance 1, distance 2. How much curvature is that? How much curvature is that? That's like nothing. That's nothing, because it's so minuscule you can't take it into account. So only if you do something like that, but you still have to take it into account because it's not just one straight beam, one straight railway, or one straight whatever. It's multiple ones. Where's the marker cap? But yeah, it's multiple ones that are just linked together. I actually don't know where the marker cap went. That's fine. It's probably just like under the pillow or something. I don't know. I'll find it. Anyway, next one. Am I sitting on it actually? Hold on. Oh yeah, I was. Here it is. Cool. I don't know how that got there. Okay, next. Let's see. Okay, so we just did number 12. Number 13. In a 19th century French experiment by M.M. I don't know. And Arago, I don't know. By these two. A powerful lamp with good reflectors was placed on the summit of that place in Spain, and able to be seen okay, I cannot read. To be seen all the way from Campri on the island of Ibiza. Since the elevation of the 2 points were identical and the distance between covered nearly 100 miles, if the Earth were a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, the light should have been more than that. 1.25 miles. Okay, so this is just saying... Okay, let me see. Okay, I see what it's saying. I brought this up before. Keep in mind, the curvature of the Earth, it also affects gravity, alright? Light passes through, just like this. If I had a beam powerful enough, and I didn't point it just straight up in space, I pointed it off into the distance, it wouldn't just keep going exactly straight. It would curve. They're saying that it curved a little, but not nearly as much as it should have. But, exactly, that's exactly how it's supposed to work. Well, they're not really saying that. Anyway. All that's happening is that the Earth curves the light. It literally just bends the light. The light goes along with it. It's that simple. The Earth curves the light, just like it curves... What else? I don't know, just like it has clouds around it going in a circle, and then land on top. It has a light that can curve. Light can curve. That's something that light can do. Okay, next one. That experiment used oxyhydrogen, that lights, and whatever that is. Okay, what does it do? To reflect the sun's rays across stations set up across 108 miles of St. George's Canal. If the Earth were really a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, Portlock's light should have remained hidden under 1.5 miles of curvature. Same thing with the light. Light curves. Next one. 15. If Earth were truly a sphere, airplane pilots would have to constantly correct their altitudes. Note, airplanes are... I'm not even going to finish that. Airplanes are affected by gravity too. Listen, airplanes don't fly in a straight line. Airplanes fly based on the curvature of the Earth. If the Earth was like the moon, then they would be designed where they would fly just around the moon, because that's what gravity does. It would take more power. They're saying that why don't they just fly out into space, pretty much? So that's a simple one. Listen, it takes the amount of power in a rocket ship to get to space, for the most part. Sometimes you can do it with like a certain like weather balloon or something like that, but if you want a viable way to transport people into space, it uses a rocket ship. Why do you think those are way more powerful and industrially designed than airplanes? Because they have to overgo that force of gravity, but airplanes, no, they just have to follow along with it. Just like light, just like the clouds, just like the ground, everything like that. Next one, 16. The experiment known as that proved that the stars more relative to a stationary Earth and not the other way around. That's not a sentence, is it? The experiment known as that proved that the stars move. Oh, they move. Okay, relative to a stationary Earth and not the other way around. By first filling a telescope with water to slow down the speed of light inside, then calculating the tilt necessary to get the starlight direction toward the tube, he failed to prove the heliocentric theory, since the starlight was already coming in the correct angle with no change necessary, and instead proved the geocentric model correct. Okay, hold on. What is this image? Okay, what does this even mean? Okay. So, telescope filled with water. Alright? Telescope with air. Okay. His eye, and then goes up to there. I don't really see what this one's even saying. Stars move relative to a stationary Earth, and not the other way around. By first filling a telescope... Okay, he explains the experiment. That stars move relative to a stationary Earth and not the other way around. Okay, so they're just saying that stars move... Okay, stars move based on how the Earth doesn't move. That's stupid. That doesn't... What? By first filling a telescope with water to slow down the speed of light inside, and then calculating the tilt necessary to get the straight direction. Oh my gosh. Okay, The Earth moves. I don't know what to say. The Earth literally just moves. It moves. Also, keep in mind, I don't know if this plays a factor in the experiment or not, but keep in mind, these stars, many of them are light years away. They are light years away. Like, meaning that by the time we've seen them, they're already zooming, alright? Because it takes light that long to get to us. Not saying that probably plays a huge role in this experiment, but I'm throwing that out there. Also, he proved the... Wait, he failed to prove that, since the starlight was already coming in the correct angle with no change necessary. I don't know what to say to this one. The Earth, Okay, this one is confusing me because it doesn't make any sense. This just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no, okay. The Earth moves. The Earth moves. You can see stars when the Earth moves. Ever wonder why... Okay, okay. Just like, okay. Say that you look up in the night sky and you see a star, alright? You look up in the night sky again, like, the next night. The stars are going to be in the same general locations based on where the other stars are. I don't even know what this one's trying to prove. That's so dumb. Also, how long is the recording so far? It is 32 minutes. Great. I hope my voice doesn't give out. Okay, next one, sure. Why not? Good enough. Olber's paradox, yep, okay, states that if there were billions of stars in the sun, night, blah, blah, as Edgar Allan... Why are they bringing Edgar Allan Poe into this? Said, were the succession of stars endless, then the background of the sky would present us... Because we can't see that far out into the sky. That doesn't even... What proof is that for a flat Earth? That's just trying to prove that the universe is finite, but it's not. Like, you can... Listen, okay. I see what this is saying. You can't see every star. Sure, okay, technically, if we could see infinitely far in any direction, then we would be, like, the entire night would just be filled with stars. Like, it would only be stars, no darkness. But we can't. That's the problem. light diffuses after a certain amount of time. It spreads out. It gets too thin and too spread out for our eyes to take in. We can only see a certain amount. Like, it's already incredible that we can see the stars that we can. Like we can't just see beyond those. Also, light tends to stay, like, any light given out in the in our galaxy, you know, the Milky Way galaxy, tends to stay relatively close within the Milky Way galaxy because it's all spiraling around, I think, a black hole in the center of the galaxy. And as I said before, light spirals, like, it circles around its sense of gravity. Black holes have the most gravity, so light just stays around that. It's impossible for light to escape a black hole. So the only way it could do it is by going straight out of, like, before it even gets close to reaching it. So we wouldn't even be able to see, like, if we could see infinitely, it's most likely that the light we see just curves around. We'd probably just see the back of our heads. Because, like, it just curves around the galaxy and comes back. Not the exact back of our heads, of course, but still. Anyway, next one. Let's see. Yeah, okay, good, next. Is that Michelson, Morley? Sure. Whatever, experiments attempted to measure the change in speed of light due to the Earth's assumed motion through space. After measuring in every possible different direction in various locations, they failed to detect any significant change whatsoever, again providing the stationary geocentric model. Okay. Wait. Okay, of passing light in opposite directions around a table and recombining them. Rotate the whole table to... Okay, this is the most confusing diagram I think I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so it's just saying how light doesn't match up on something like that. Oh, okay, I think I see what it's saying. Listen, okay, I said that everything has its own gravity. That includes tables. Tables have their own gravity. However, it's not nearly enough to pull light all the way around it, like it's probably saying here. The reason the Earth can do that is because it literally has enough gravity to hold everything in. I think that's what this one's saying. I'm not exactly sure, but light gravity thing, exactly what I said before, curvature of light. Sure. Tycho Brahe, I don't know, I cannot pronounce things, I'm sorry, famously argued against the heliocentric theory in his time. Positing, okay, I cannot read, I'm so bad at language drawings, I'm sorry, that the Earth revolved around the Sun. The change in relative position of the stars after 6 months orbital motion could not fail to be seen. Wait, could not fail to, so it was seen. Okay, so the change in relative position of the stars was seen. So there was a change in the relative position of stars. Okay. He argued that the stars should seem to separate as we approach and come together as we recede. In actual fact, however, after 190 million miles of supposed orbit around the Sun, not a single inch of parallax can be detected in the stars, providing we have not moved at all. What? Okay, first off, listen, okay, stars move too. Everyone thinks that stars don't move. Stars move too, planets move. In fact, stars move way faster than planets. But we know that planets revolve around stars. Simple as that. So, oh, and by the way, if you did not know that, yes, stars do move way faster than planets because they revolve around the black hole center of the galaxy. So, yeah, stars do move, but with the Earth moving and the stars moving, it doesn't get aligned the way that a lot of people think it does. I guess that's the best I'm going to do to answer that one. I'm sorry if some of these aren't that good, but I have so many to get through. We're almost 10% of the way done, by the way. Oh my gosh. If Earth were truly constant and spinning like that, vertical filled cannonballs, yeah, I'm sorry. Vertically fired cannonballs and other projectiles should fall significantly due west. In actual fact, okay, this is because they're revolving around with the Earth. They still have momentum. Earth is going like this, super fast, all right, super fast. Say a cannonball gets shot out of it, all right? So say we slow it down, just like this. Say the Earth is going like this. It's still going super fast, all right? Say a cannonball gets shot out of it, right? They're saying it should go like boom, and then bow, and then it hits somewhere else if it's fired straight up. No, the cannonball still has momentum, so it would go boom, but it would still keep traveling like that. Pow, land wherever it goes. And obviously it would not go that far and that fast. But like, say the Earth was slower, like just say it moved a little bit. Cannonball's fired up, you know, it's spinning, then it goes boom, pow, and it lands like over here or whatever. No, it would go more like boom, pow. It's still following that. It still has momentum. The cannonball still has momentum. Next. 10% of the way done, by the way. If the Earth were truly a constant sphere spinning, that helicopters and hot air balloons should be able to simply hover over the surface of the Earth and wait for their destinations to come to them. No, because they still have momentum and they're still going with the Earth. It's kind of like if you're on a super fast train and you jump. You don't end at the back of the train. You keep going with the train. You're still at the same place as long as you're still at a constant momentum. Like, for instance, it's kind of the opposite with elevators. It's kind of like the same with elevators, actually, because say that you're on an elevator. Like, this is the elevator. Everyone knows this. You jump right before it goes down. You jump, it starts going down, and then you have way further to fall, right? But also, with an elevator, say it's already going down. It's going down, you jump, what happens? It's like a normal jump. Nothing happens. Say it's going up. Say you jump right as it starts to go up. What happens? You go, bump, you stay in the air for a very short amount of time because the momentum wasn't equal. But you're going up with the elevator. Momentum is equal. Boing, you can jump normally, because momentum is still pushing you up in the air, just like momentum is pushing these still around the Earth. It doesn't matter. They're still being pushed around the Earth. Momentum. Simple. 22. If Earth were truly constantly spinning eastward over 1,000 miles per hour during the Red Bull Stratosphere dive, Felix, that guy, spending 3 hours ascending over New Mexico, should have... Nope, okay, same thing with momentum. 23. Ball believers... often claim gravity magically... Why is it gravity in quotes? Gravity magically and inexplicably drags the entire lower atmosphere of the Earth in perfect synchronization up to some undetermined height, where this progressively faster spinning atmosphere gives way to the non-spinning, non-gravitized, non-atmosphere, of infinite vacuum space. Such nonsensical theories are debunked, however, by rain, fireworks, birds, bugs, okay, all that. All of which would behave differently if both ball Earth and its atmosphere were constantly spinning like that. Entire lower atmosphere of the Earth, perfect, okay. Okay, momentum, done, next one. 24. If Earth were spinning at its atmosphere constantly then north and south facing cannons should establish a control, while east firing cannonballs should fall significantly further than all others, while west firing. Momentum, next. Why? All of these have to do with momentum. It's so simple. They just need to understand what momentum is. You need me to look up what momentum is? Oh my gosh. Momentum diagram. Let's go to images. Momentum diagram. Let's do let's do this one. Look. Momentum. Simple. Okay. Ball A. Okay, just perfect example. Ball A, change in momentum. Final momentum. It's right in the middle. Ball B, change in momentum. Final momentum. Listen, if the momentum starts opposite, then it ends in the middle. If one happens and then the other one happens that's more powerful, as you can see by the bigger arrow, momentum tends to go in that direction. For instance, say that there is... Okay, so say I am with one of my friends, all right? And me and my friend get into a fight, all right? And I push them, all right? I push my friend, all right? Momentum travels that way. It travels from me to them. And if you're wondering where it comes from, it's because I'm pushing down on the round Earth. Not the Earth has to be around the scenario, but it is. Anyway, my feet are pushing down on the Earth, giving me traction so I can push on them. Simple. They get flung back. But say that we both push on each other at the same time, and we're equal force, just like shown by the two equally big arrows. Guess what happens? Nothing. The force is equal. It balances out. Final momentum is nothing. Simple, just like that. Next, I think did we do 24 already? Yes, we did. 25. Did we do that one? If Earth's atmosphere were that, then the commercial airline traveling that should never be able to reach its eastward destination before they coming to speed up from behind. Momentum. By the way, for a little better explanation of momentum, say that the Earth is... Let me move this back over this way. Say that... Oh, I'm sorry. Say that... There we go. The Earth is spinning this way. Bump, 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 bump. Say it's spinning that way. It is spinning clockwise. So, this is a plane up here. That's a plane, alright? And say it's going this way. It already has the momentum from going this way, so it's going to stay at the same place in the air as it would if it was just, like, levitating, except it's using all the extra powered, like, it's putting out all the extra energy it's releasing from its jets to continue moving in this direction. Now, say that the Earth is still spinning this way, then we have this plane over here, and it's going against the way the Earth is spinning. It still has the momentum going up on it from the Earth, meaning it's still rotating this way. Like, the point on Earth is not the same as the point in space. The point on Earth could be this. No matter where you are on the Earth, say the Earth spins, then that point is over here. Say it spins over here. But in space, like, that's a good start. But, that's slightly better. Anyway, in space, that point is not going to stay the same because the Earth is spinning. Easy as that. Look at that. We are an eighth of the way done. Fantastic. Okay. Quoting that, if flying had been invented at the same time as of Copernicus, there is no doubt that he would have soon realized that his contention regarding the rotation of the Earth was wrong on account of the relation existing between the speed of an aircraft and that of Earth's rotation. Momentum. Next. If Earth and its atmosphere were constantly spinning eastward of that, landing airplanes, momentum. Next. Stop giving me ones with momentum. They're all about momentum. Actually, I like this because I'm kind of zooming through these now. We are still recording, right? Good. Okay. If the Earth and its atmosphere were constantly moving that, then the clouds, momentum! They're going with it! Oh my gosh! Could not casually and unpredictably go, because, oh my goodness, momentum. They're already going to be that. The point in space differs. In space, okay, look. Say you're on Earth, alright? On Earth. You're at that point. I showed you on the board. You're at one point. The Earth spins. You're still at that point. Still at that point. Still at that point. Wherever the Earth spins in any direction. Say you're in space. There's this point. The Earth spins. You're not at the same point in space, but you're at the same point on Earth. Because space doesn't move with the Earth. The Earth just moves on its own. So, everything is affected by momentum there. However, things like wind and things like all that change drastically. Clouds, all that. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my voice. Good thing I have the Gatorade over here. Give me a minute. Did I actually just drip Gatorade on my shirt? Oh boy. Alright. Was that 28? Yeah, 29. If the Earth and its atmosphere were constantly spinning that, it should somehow be seen, heard, felt, or measured by someone, yet no one in history has ever... Momentum. Oh my gosh, it's momentum! In that, Arctic and Antarctic explorer described his experience on the night of that, and his conclusion that Earth must be motionless. The sky is being very clear. It enables us to observe the higher stratum of clouds to be moving in an exactly opposite direction to that of the wind. A circumference which is frequently recorded in our... Okay, sure. I keep saying sure because, like, a lot of this just doesn't make any sense to me because it's just so out there and crazy. Further inform me of the following seemingly anomalous... Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at reading. Circumference. Oh wait, no, circumstance. Yep, I can read. That at the height of 6,000 feet, he found the current of air blowing at right angles to both the lower strata, also of different hygrometrics. I'm sorry. I'm reading is not my strongest suit. That's my worst subject. And thermometric condition. But warmer than the interstratum. Such state of the atmosphere is compatible. This is a good reading lesson for me. Only with the fact which other evidence has demonstrated, that the Earth is at rest. Okay, well, first, momentum moves clouds and stuff. Also, yeah. Well, that's it. Momentum. Okay, hold on. I think I get what this is saying, but I'm so confused because they're just using the same evidence 20 times and switching it up every now and then. It's also been observed by former voyagers. His experience. In his conclusion that the Earth must be motionless. The sky is very clear. So let's just look at the quote. The sky is very clear. Okay. It can do that sometimes. It enabled us to observe the higher stratum of clouds to be moving in an exactly opposite direction to that of the wind. Okay, well, this is just assuming that wind here blows like this. Okay, so look, wind blows like this. Blows in all these different directions everywhere. Usually not that fast, but it can. Blows this way and that way and this way and that way, all over the place. But they're assuming that the wind blows like this. Like, say that this is the wind. It's straight up and down. But it's not. Wind blows three-dimensionally just like everything else. So, the wind that you're feeling down here is not the same as the wind that's up here. But sometimes it's just difficult to explain that to people without a brain. Alright, was that number 30? Yes. We are 3/20ths of the way done. Oh boy. Quoting that, Thomas Him states, let imagination picture... Oh wait, hold on, is this... Okay. Which 1 hour was spinning at that, rushing through space at that, and that. Then let... Okay. If the Earth globe rotates on its axis at a terrific rate of that, such an immense mass would of necessity cause a tremendous rush of wind in space occupied. Momentum. Next. If gravity is credited with being a force strong enough to hold the world's oceans, buildings, people, and atmosphere stuck on the ball, then it is impossible for gravity to also... Why do they always quote gravity? Gravity. To also simultaneously be weak enough to allow birds... Okay, listen. Listen. It's simple, okay? Everything in the universe is attracted to each other. Everything is kind of like a magnet. Everything has its own gravitational pull. I have my own gravitational pull. I explained this earlier. Everything has it. The Earth just has so much of it that it automatically pulls things into it. Ever notice how things in space just stay floating in space? That's because the gravitational pull does not reach out that far enough to pull them inward. Just like the International Space Station. What, do you think that just levitates above the Earth if the Earth was a ball? No. The gravitational pull does not reach that far. However, it has... Okay, if there's no force keeping something up, then the only force is bringing it down. The force bringing things up include a bird flapping its wings, causing downwards momentum. Well, not momentum, downwards force, I guess. It pushes down on the Earth, pushing the bird up. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, the bird flapping its wings downward, pushing on the Earth downward, has an equal and opposite force upward, pushing it up. Every action, pushing down, has an equal and opposite reaction, pushing up. The reason that buildings don't float is because there's no action, there's no force pushing down other than their weight. But everything's weight is already calculated. So, it doesn't even matter because there's no extra force. The weight is insignificant. That's like, if I had a weightless object and I dropped it, it would float. If I had an object that weighed 0.000000001 pounds, it would fall, given enough time. But, of course, that's only under certain circumstances. If there were no resistance, wind resistance, anything like that, air resistance, all that. Everything has its own weight. Forces push down. Isaac Newton, get some brain. All right, next. Oh man, hold on, I gotta take another drink. My throat's starting to hurt, and I'm not even close to halfway. Oh man, all right. This is gonna get difficult really soon. How long have I been recording? 54 minutes. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. So we just did that one. If gravity was credited for being that, it would be impossible for fish or other creatures to swim through with such forcefully held water. Momentum. Ship captains in navigation. In navigating great distances at sea, never need to factor supposed curvature of the Earth. Both plane and sailing, great circle sailing. Okay, the most popular navigation methods use plane, not spherical trigonometry, making all mathematical calculations on the assumption of the flat Earth practically flat, or of the Earth practically flat. Okay, they don't need to. Why would they need to calculate what? Ship captains, really? Why would they need to even calculate that in the beginning? Just to find their location, like find out where they're going, figure out how to get from point A to point B? That's... Okay, first off, do you know how the plane navigation works? There are satellites that go around the Earth, giving location. Crazy, right? Around the Earth, not hovering above it, around it. Fun fact. Next, if the Earth were a globe, then every line of latitude south of the equator would have to measure a gradually smaller and smaller circumference the farther south traveled. If, however, the Earth is an extended plane, then every line of latitude south of the equator should measure a gradually larger and larger circumference the farther south traveled. That is true. That is a fact. The fact that many captains navigating south of the equator, assuming the globular theory, have found themselves drastically out of reckoning, more so the farther south traveled, testifies the fact that the Earth is not a ball. So the further south traveled, the more wrong they are about location, is what it's saying, I think, which doesn't even make sense. That many captains navigating south of the equator, assuming globular theory, have found themselves drastically out of reckoning. Out of reckoning? What does out of reckoning mean? Let me look this up. Out of reckoning meaning. Not in a position of possible success, importance, or impact. What? Not in a position of possible success, importance, or impact. So they're just wrong. Okay. Well, let's see. Why could that be? What other things? Okay, so hold on. You're telling me the captains in the north don't experience the same thing when sailing around. Oh, you know why? Probably because it's more ocean and less land. There are less landmarks because the further south you go, the less land there is. Africa comes to this. South America comes to this. At the north, we have Greenland and Canada and all the islands. We have Europe, all that stuff. You know, going around the Arctic Ocean. The Southern Ocean, which is half officially an ocean, I think, just stretches all the way around the globe. More room for air. That's the only thing I can really think of for that. Next. During Captain Him voyage around the Antarctic circumference, he often wrote in his journal perplexed at how they routinely found themselves out of accordance with their charts, stating that they found themselves an average of 12 to 16 miles outside their reckoning. Why do they keep use out of their reckoning? Every day. Later on further south, as much as 29 miles. What? around, okay, he wrote that he was perplexed at how often they found themselves wrong with the charts. Saying they found themselves that far outside, that far wrong every day. Well, Antarctica is not a perfect circle, so I don't know why you think it is. That doesn't even, what does that even prove? Oh, I think they're saying that Antarctica goes around the, this is so stupid. That Antarctica goes around the outside of the Earth like that. That's what they're saying. Okay. Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense, actually. That does not make any sense. Next. Oh, I just did that one. Okay. Lieutenant Charles Wilkes commanded a United States Navy exploration expedition. Whoa. I didn't know you could use the words exploration and expedition next to each other. To the Antarctic from 1838 to 1842. And his journals also mentioned being consistently east of the reckoning, sometimes over 20 miles less than 18 hours. My voice is starting to feel really weird. Alright. Also mentioned being consistently east of the reckoning. Let me think. Why is that? Okay. East, specifically. What? First off, this just doesn't make any sense to begin with, because east would imply that... Okay, hold on. Wait, oh, so wait. What? Why are they using directions like north, south, east, and west? What do they think that is? Because if they're doing it how the only way that makes even a little bit of sense on a flat Earth, north, south, wait, no, okay, north, east, south, west. If they're a little bit east, they would be beyond the Earth, the flat Earth's border. So what do they mean a little east? How? What? You mean like north, south, east, and that still doesn't make sense. Okay, that one just doesn't make any sense. That just legitimately doesn't make any sense. In the southern, okay, number 38. In the southern hemisphere, navigators to India often fancied themselves, okay, east of the Cape, wait, where is this, India? Well, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's referring to Cape Verde, because that's, I don't know why, is it just Cape? I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm very not good at reading. One still west, and they have driven ashore on the African coast, which, according to their reckoning, lay behind them. This misfortune happened to find, how, Her Majesty's ship, Conqueror, be lost. What? How have so many other vessels, perfectly manned, perfectly navigated, be wrecked in calm weather, not only in dark night or in a fog, but in broad daylight and sunshine? Okay. Let me look at the beginning part of that. In the southern hemisphere, navigators to India are often, okay, have been driven ashore on the African coast. Which, okay, well, tide is the answer. Tide has nothing to do with weather. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but, like, tide happens whether there's weather or not. So it pulls you in to continents, big land masses. Ever notice how, other than riptides, tides don't pull you away from the from your land mass? If you're on the ocean, ever notice how surfers don't surf outward? Weird. I wonder why that is. Strange. Next. Let's see. So we just did that one, right? Yeah, okay. I'll do my chin. My mouth. I gotta stretch it out. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, I don't think anyone's gonna watch this video all the way through, but I'm doing this to prove a point. Practical distance measurements taken from the Australian Handbook state that the straight line's distance between there are given the difference in longitude, 22 degrees and 2 foot 4 inches. Therefore, if 22 degrees, 2 foot 14 inches out of 360 is that, the entire world measure, wait, what? the entirety would measure that. This is not only larger than the ball Earth is said to be, but a whole that many miles greater than it would be. Okay. So, hills, it's not a perfect ball. I explained that already. Next. Oh, okay. From near Cape Horn, Chile, or Cape, I don't know how to pronounce, to Port Phillip in Melbourne, Australia, the distance is that far. Or that far in longitude. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. I ought to keep apologizing. I'm sorry for apologizing. Factors in the remaining degrees to 360 makes for a total distance of that many miles around this particular latitude, which is over that much more. Okay, not a perfect ball. Next. Not a perfect ball. Next one after 41. Perfect. Latitude that more than 12,000 miles circumference. Not a perfect ball. Next. If the Earth were a ball, it's not a ball. It is a globe. A globe and a ball are different. A ball implies it's a perfect sphere. A globe implies that it's a spherical, like, mass, but not a perfect sphere. These flights aren't made because they are... Oh, wait, hold on. If Earth was a ball, and there are several flights in the southern hemisphere, which would be the quickest, straightest path to the Antarctic continent, if Earth was... What is this even saying? Which have the quickest to there. Instead of taking the shortest, quickest route, all flights detour. Why? Stop. Okay. All flights detour. NASA claims to have technology keeping them in conditions far colder and far hotter than any experienced on Earth. Such an excuse is clearly just an excuse. And these flights aren't made because they are impossible. And I think it's referring to this, right? Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's just referring to something else. Plenty of flights to and from Antarctica. Straight line over Antarctica. I'm still trying to find the logic in this. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's saying, why don't people ever just fly over top of Antarctica? You know how cold that would be? They're saying, oh, it's just an excuse that it's that cold. No. No, that's not even right. They're just flat out wrong with that one. If Earth was a ball and Antarctica was too cold to fly over, the only logical way to fly from Sydney to Santiago, whatever, would be a straight shot over the Pacific, staying in the southern hemisphere the entire way. Refueling could be done in New Zealand or other southern hemisphere destinations along the way if absolutely necessary. In actual fact, however, Santiago, Sydney flights go into the northern hemisphere, making stopovers at LAX. That's the airport, right? Oh, wait. I'm losing my mind. Yeah. And other North American airports before continuing back down to the southern hemisphere. Such ridiculously wayward detours make no sense. Okay. So, they're saying that instead of going from there to there, they go from there to there to there. Well, first off, this is a great place to refuel normally. Secondly, they can't just have a normal plane going anywhere. You can't just have a plane go from here to there to there to there to there to there. Like, planes have specific routes that can change, but still. Third, curvature of the Earth makes it so this is shorter, because this is not actually to scale whatsoever. You see, this is a flat map version of the Earth, based on the fact that this line and this line are flat and straight. But in reality, curvature of the Earth brings you up here. Cool. And you can go this way too. This is, okay, imagine it like this. Let me draw my board again. So, imagine it like this. This up here is North America. This is South America. I'll have it show you in a second. And this is Australia. Just like that, alright? Now, this is what it's showing in the map version. But, in the real version, without the flatness, this would be Australia. And this, North America and South America. It's way easier to go from here and then follow along the curve to get there. Then, keep in mind, this is way wider. This is way wider than that. Bad drawing, but makes sense. Next one. We're almost a quarter of the way done. South Africa would be, okay, same thing as the last one. Curvature. On a ball, Earth should be straight. A straight shot following the same line of latitude. But instead, every flight goes to connecting. Same thing as before. Same thing as before. Same thing as before. They're all just the exact same thing. Oh my gosh, they're literally the exact same thing. Okay, if Earth were a spinning ball heated by a sun 93 million miles away, it would be impossible to have simultaneously sweltering summers in Africa while just a few thousand miles away. Okay, I see what it's saying. Actually, so the sun, keep in mind, Africa is in the middle of the equator. Like, it literally is in all four hemispheres. The equator runs right through the middle of it. Now, you know where the equator does not run through? Many other places, including the Arctic and the Antarctic. The reason they're so cold is because light hits them, like, relatively close to the equators. Meaning that light is going to hit everywhere, but the heat is only going to really stay around there. And that's not to say that there isn't heat in places such as Antarctica, because the ice melts because of heat. But there's so much ice that stays together, meaning it stays cold. Simple as that. It's not a direct hit, meaning it doesn't get nearly as affected. Simple. This is the last one on the first page. If the Earth were truly a globe, the Arctic and Antarctic polar regions would be comparable. The north and south of the equator should be similar conditions and seasonal changes, length of daylight. Nope, just explain that. Light also is affected by that, but I didn't say that a lot in the last one solely because we're talking about heat, but light specifically in this one, not heat. Light specifically hits them way less. Like, if you are in Africa, and so you'll go, the Earth spins, you get light, you don't get light from the sun. I mean, light from the sun, no light from the sun. Sun, no sun. Sun, no sun. As you're spinning around. In Antarctica, down here, say that the sun is hitting like this way. Antarctica, down here where the cap is. Sun, no sun, sun, no sun, no sun. Like stuff like that, pretty much. But there are many places in the world where it is just like dark, like almost all day. I think there's a place like in Alaska or Canada, somewhere up there, where it's just like dark, like all day. Yeah, that's because when the Earth spins, way less time. Like the sun is having way less time to shine light on those areas because they're not in direct path of the light. We are a quarter of the way done. On to part 2. How long is this page? Oh my gosh. Okay. Drink time, drink time, drink time. How long have I been recording? An hour and 12 minutes in total. Antarctica is the coldest, on a tilting, wobbling ball spinning uniformly around the sun. The temperatures and seasons should not vary so greatly. Wait, what? I just kind of skipped the entire thing. Throughout the year, temperatures in Antarctica vary less than half the amount at comparable Arctic latitudes. Okay, so the Earth is tilted. Fun fact. Notice how we consider the large amount of ice on the bottom of the Earth a continent, Antarctica. We don't consider the large amount of ice at the top a continent, the Arctic. The reason being is that that's way larger because that gets way less sunlight and way less heat. Therefore, since the other one gets that, it varies way more, way more. Or else we would consider both of them a continent, or neither of them a continent. Simple as that. Iceland, at 65 degrees north latitude, is home to that many species of native plants, and abundant that. Compare this with the Isle of Georgia, at just about that many degrees south. Only 18 species of native plants, also non-existent. The same latitudes as Canada or England in the north were dense forests, blah blah blah. I like how this guy's name is Captain Cook. That's funny. Not a tree was to be seen. The lands lie there, doomed, and the blah, 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 blah. I'm losing my mind, alright. Never feel the warmth of the sun's rays. Use horrible and savage aspect. I have no words to describe even marine life. Sparse and certain. Contrast between these limits of... Okay, so they're saying that they're on the same latitude. Did it say... Yes, I think... Something like that. Around the same latitude or whatever, but they vary so differently. Okay. Well, that's just because diversity of animals and plants, I guess. That's it. Just diversity. Yeah, pretty much. Diversity. Simple. By the way, if you don't know what diversity is the spread of like living things or ideas or movement of something to make a place filled with a great variety of living things or things in general, usually for living things. 53, at places of comparable latitude, the sun behaves differently than it would, blah 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 blah. For example, the longest summer days north of the equator is much longer than the south of the equator. Shortest winter days north of the equator is much shorter than that of the south equator. This is inexplicable on a uniformly spinning, wobbling ball Earth, but fits exactly on the flat model of that. Okay, so they're saying that they vary so differently because of that. Let me think. Okay, so it's just because the sun is hitting them differently. Listen, the equator doesn't, the sun doesn't hit exactly on the equator. You're thinking here's the equator, the sun's rays hit exactly on the equator. No. They hit different, they do not hit on the exact equator. The equator is not measured of the exact middle of where the sun hits, and everything on the north and south should be exactly the same. It measures the fact that, it's halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. That's it. It's the widest area of the Earth based on how it's spinning. The sun doesn't hit it exactly there. 54. At places of comparable latitude. Same thing. If the sun circles that every 24 hours, steadily traveling from tropic to tropic every 6 months, follows annually receive far more heat and sunlight than that. Same thing. It doesn't hit exactly on the equator. The midnight sun is an Arctic phenomenon occurring annually during the summer solstice, where for several days straight, an observer significantly far enough north can watch the sun traveling circles overhead. Gee, I wonder why that is. Maybe because they're at, where is this? The north, right? I believe. Far enough, yeah, north. You see, as I said, the Earth is tilted, and the sun shines upon the Earth not exactly straight. Whereas most places would see it normally. If you're far enough north, you'll... Okay, I think I need to draw another diagram for this. Erase this. La 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 la. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to erase all this stuff. Because I don't have that kind of time, and I don't even think I'm going to have any time to do anything else today. Okay. This ball is the Earth. Then this, blah, 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 is the north. And then here is the sun. All right. Check this out. This is the Earth. This is the North. This is the sun. Sorry about all the other things in the background. Now listen, all right? As the Earth spins, people over here are like, oh, daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, because they're generally behind the Earth when it comes to the sun. But people in the North, when it spins at a certain time of year, during the summer solstice, when the sun is apparently out longer solely because the Earth wobbles, the sun doesn't appear to disappear. Just looks like it's traveling around like that. Even though, in reality, the Earth is just traveling around like that. Quite simple, actually. Next. Let's see. Claims that midnight sun is experienced in Antarctica, but they conveniently do not have any uncut videos showing this, nor do they allow independent explorers to travel to Antarctica during winter solstice to verify. Publicly available showing Arctic midnight sun has been verified beyond the shadow of a doubt. Is experienced. Okay. You don't have any uncut videos showing this. Conversely, there are dozens of uncut videos publicly available showing the Arctic midnight sun, and it has been verified beyond any shadow of a doubt. Okay, so it's saying that that's real? Okay, I mean, yeah. Do you know why that's real? Because it's on the other side of the Earth. It's just like the North, except it's in the South, and it's at a different time of year. Sure. Next. Yeah, by the way, that's because the Earth spins. Cool. 58. The Royal Belgian Geographical Society, and that recorded this during that. Okay, same thing as the last ones. Quoting that, the theory of rotation of the Earth may once and for all be defined, disposed of as impracticable, sure. By pointing out the following inadvertence. It is said that the rotation takes 24 hours and that it's uniform, in which case necessarily days and nights should have an identical duration of 12 hours. Okay, sun goes around the Earth and it changes throughout the year. Because, let's see if I can put my big brain to the test. Okay, the Earth is at different places throughout the year going around the sun. Keep in mind it revolves around the sun as well. So as the Earth spins, it becomes day and night, on and off, of course. But as it goes around the sun, different parts of the Earth are getting different amounts of light and heat for longer periods of time or shorter periods of time, causing for variations in time throughout days. Okay, good. Anyone can prove the sea horizon perfectly straight, the entire Earth perfectly flat, using nothing more than level tripods and a wooden plank. At any altitude above sea level, simply fix a 6 by 12 foot long smooth level board edgewise upon the tripods and observe the skyline from eye level behind it. The distant horizon will always align perfectly parallel with the upper edge because it curves so slightly. Minuscule curvature. If it was actually that, the horizon would be noticeably curved. No, it would not be noticeably curved. Minuscule curvature. At their level, over a 6 mile stretch, he stood in Canals telescope and held 8 inches above. So the entire boat and flag should have ultimately disappeared. Okay. Light curvature, as I said before. The second experiment, 5 feet high, blah, 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 light curvature. Next. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. It is taken from the horizon at sea, whatever. Okay, side distancing that, a distance of that, the ship containing that. The square of 20 multiplied by 8 inches gives that. Feet is the amount the vessel would be below the line. Okay, curvature of light. Curvature of light. Also quoting that, on there, a few miles north of there, fixed telescope of that, curvature of light. Dr. Him, he really needs to get smart. Botham, Botham, I don't know. Several other experiments using telescopes. Curvature of light. The distance across Irish Sea from the Isle of Man's Douglas Harbour to Great Orme's Head in North Wales is 60 miles. Globe of that, assuming 100 foot. Should fall impossible. Curvature of light. It's the curvature of light. The Philadelphia skyline is clearly visible from the Apple Pie Island, New Jersey. You're 40 miles away if the Earth is that. Factoring that. Should be well. Curvature of light. It is the curvature of light. New York City skyline. Curvature of light. Curvature of light. 71. Curvature of light. These are easy. Queens visited that. 330. Wait. Curvature of light. Listen. Light curves. Light curves. Okay. You might not believe me. You might not believe me. Okay. Curvature of the spine. No. Curvature of light in a gravitational field. The theory of general relativity then formulates gravity in terms of the curvature of space-time. Since light moves at the speed of light, obviously, it seems equal amounts of space and time curvature, so it bends twice as far as that. So, why does light bend in a gravitational field? The curves are a consequence of gravitation. The space-time curves are called geodesics, cannot pronounce, and they generalize the notion of straight lines to curved space-time. Light also travels along the geodesics, okay, called null geodesics, okay. And so paths of light are also curved by gravitational force despite light not having any mass. Boom. Where were we? We did 72, right? Yep. Curvature of light. This one. Curvature of light. 74. Curvature of light. 75. Curvature of light. Curvature of light. Curvature of light. Entire mountain can be quite easily seen. Curvature of light. From Anchorage, Alaska, the elevation is that. Curved Earth. In reality, however, the entire mountain can be quite easily seen. Curvature of light. Was that 79? Yep. Okay, number 80. All ships 200 miles distant. Curvature of light. The distance from various lighthouse lights. Curvature of light. Oh, my voice is starting to hate the phrase curvature of light. Okay, these ones are easy to zoom through. Curvature of light. Okay, let's see. Instead of saying curvature of light, I'm just going to say, no, I'll just say, light curves. I'll just say light curves. So this one, light curves, 83. Light curves. 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 We literally just zoomed through 9 in a row. Light curves. Light curves. Cool. 93. Behind him that, can be clearly seen. However, both lights should be hidden. Light curves. 94. The crosshairs, however, they can be shown on land perfectly level. Okay, what this one? Hold on. From the highland of there, England, looking across there to the Isle of that, the entire base of the island, where water and land come together, composed a perfectly straight line, 22 stature miles long. According to the ball Earth theory, the Isle of Wight should decline 80 feet from the center. to reach the side of account for necessary curvature. The crosshairs of good, sure, that thing. Directed there, however, have repeatedly shown the land and water line to be perfectly level. What is this one even saying? My computer feels like it's gonna overheat. Oh my gosh. Should decline 80 feet from the center on each side. Okay. So, what is this one even saying? I do not even know what this one is saying. It should decline 80 feet from the center on each side. The entire base of the island, or water and land, come together. There's a perfectly straight line of 22 statute miles long. Should decline 80 feet from the center on each side. Oh man. Okay. Well, it does, but the curvature is not noticeable. I'll say that for that one. I'm kind of confused on the wording, but that's the best I got for that. My computer is like, it's zooming out hot air right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. On a clear day from the highland near Douglas Harbor, those there is often plainly visible from the naked eye. To Holyhead comprises, or is that Holyhead? I don't know. A 15-mile stretch, also repeatedly found perfectly horizontal. The Earth is actually at a curvature of 8 inches per square mile. And NASA, okay, the 50-mile length. You see on the horizon. Okay. So this is just saying that we should see that it's curved instead of seeing that it's straight. Okay. So first off, curvature is minuscule. Said that a million times. Secondly, keep in mind, light still curves. It still bends, so our eyes can see it properly without it looking like that. Because that wouldn't make any sense. Whatever this is up here, this thing right here, that does not make any sense. From 100 proofs the Earth is not a globe. Why didn't I do that instead of 200? If we take a journey down to the Chesapeake Bay by night, we will see light. Island an hour before the steamer gets to it. We may take up a position on the deck so that the rail of the vessel's side will be in line with the light. But say that a distance of 13 miles has been transversed. The astronomer's theory of curvature demands a difference in the apparent elevation. Okay, keep in mind. Now, I see what they're saying. From a far enough place away on the Earth, you should be able to see the Earth curve. But that's not the case. Light curves with the Earth's curve. So, in reality, okay, if light did not curve with the Earth's curve, as it is, keep in mind, light just kind of curves around the Earth. As a very simple layman's terms way of putting it. If it didn't do that, then yes, you would be right. We would see that the Earth bends like that. But we don't see that because it bends with it. And when it gets to our eyes, that's what our eyes see. That's what they read. Simple as that. 97. NASA and modern-day astronomers say the Earth is a giant ball tilted back, wobbling and spinning when that... Okay, yep. That's a grand total of that many miles in different directions we're supposedly speeding along simultaneously. Never seen... Yeah, momentum. NASA and modern-day astronomy say Polaris, the North Pole star, is somewhere between that far away or that many miles away from us. Firstly, note that is between that and that miles, making a difference of that. Okay, over 600 trillion miles. If modern astronomy cannot even agree on the distance of stars within hundreds of trillions of miles, perhaps their science is flawed, and their theory needs re-examining. However, even granting them their obscurely distant stars, it is impossible for heliocentrists to explain how Polaris manages to always remain perfectly aligned straight above the North Pole throughout Earth's various alleged tilting, wobbling, rotating, and revolving motions. Okay. I see what it's saying. I don't know if you hear Snapchat happening in the background. I'm sorry. But I see what it's saying. Okay. So, okay, hold on. I already forget what it said. Okay. First off, it's very difficult to measure the distance of stars, and even that is incredibly accurate compared to what was originally imagined possible. I know 600 trillion seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's super accurate as a range of error, a margin of error. In the, what is that? This is in the quadrillions, right? 1,000, million, billion, yeah, in the quadrillions. So it makes enough sense, which is already super awesome. Secondly, that stays there because that's Polaris, North Star, or whatever. That is exactly above. Keep in mind, the Earth spins around the poles. All right, pole here, pole here. Imagine the poles are just a rod going all the way up through the Earth. The Earth spins on them like a piece of fruit on a shish kebab. If you spun that, it would spin like that. But these, pointing like that, they're always pointing in the same direction as it goes like that, as it spins around there. And though the Earth might wobble a little bit, it's always just pointing straight up there. It spins just around like that. The Earth spins like that, goes like this around the sun. But relative distance, it points exactly up to it, because those themselves do not actually rotate in any degrees other than going around like that. Simple. 99. Viewed from a ball Earth, Polaris, situated directly over the North Pole, should not be visible anywhere in the southern hemisphere. For Polaris, it is seen from the southern hemisphere of a globular Earth. The observer would have to be somehow looking through the globe. Okay, so they're saying that it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be able to see that from the south of, from the bottom of the Earth, the southernmost part of the Earth. Okay, let's see. I have to take a long. Okay, so first off, I would like to point out light curvature again. That's the main thing. It's not just curving through things on Earth; it's also curving through things in space too, but mainly in Earth with this example. Also, Polaris is a very bright star, which is why it's easily noticeable. So it's easy to find, pretty much. That's my best explanation for that. I'm just happy to get to 100. We're going to be halfway done soon. If Earth were a ball, the Southern Cross and the Southern constellations would all be visible from the same time, every longitude on the same latitude as the case of the Polaris, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, and many others can be seen from every northern meridian. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Simultaneously, whereas in the south, constellations like the Southern Cross cannot. This proves Southern Hemisphere is not turned under, but simply stretching further. Okay, so what is this saying? Okay. So, southern constellations should be able to be seen from the north, but they're not. Okay. Okay, let me think. I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna plug my computer. I'm gonna look this one up. I'm gonna look this one. Actually, wait. No, I don't want to resort to that yet. Let's call one of my friends and see if they have any idea. Um, I don't know which one we should call. We will call Brian. V Drum for Life 9. He's not going to answer, but worth a try. Polls, answer. He's online. It shows that he's online. I'm on Discord. Brian, you're killing me, my man. Yo. Oh, sweet. Alright. Sweet, Brian, I got a hold of you. Awesome. Okay. So, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Why is this ringing? Hold on, let me... Okay, so, this will just take a second. I'm actually recording for a video right now. That's why I wanted to call you instead of texting you. Because, yeah, I need your help with one little thing. So, this video is all about disproving the official 200 reasons why the Earth is flat. So, I got to number 100, and I'm stuck on number 100. I'm confused, and I was like, hey, maybe you would know. You ready to hear it?
I mean, just sure.
Good. If the Earth... Oh, by the way, this is from the official FlatEarth101.com. This is number 100. If Earth were a ball, the Southern Cross and other southern constellations would all be visible at the same time from every longitude on the same latitude, as is the case in the north with Polaris and its surrounding constellations. Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, and many others, can be seen from every northern meridian simultaneously. Whereas, in the south, constellations like the Southern Cross cannot. This proves the southern hemisphere is not, quote, turned over, as in the ball model, but simply stretching further outwards away from the northern center point, as in the flat Earth model. It's basically saying that we can't see some constellations from some places, but we can see others from other places, but the curvature should be the same. So help.
So, their argument was, what, everybody in the north can see the North Star? Right?
Yeah, I think their argument was, like, people in the south can see the North Star, but people in the north can't see southern constellations, or something like that.
Well, if the Earth was flat, people in the south could never see the North Star because it would be on the opposite side of it.
No. So the flat Earth theory says that the south is just the outer limits of the Earth.
What?
Yeah. It's like the north is like the middle of the Earth, and right above the north is the North Star, and then the south, like Antarctica, is all the way around the perimeter of the Earth. That's the flat Earth theory.
But people in the middle can't see the things on the outside edge.
No, so... yeah.
Well, okay, here. The people in the middle are too far away from where the people on the south are able to look upwards and inwards towards the middle, but the people in the middle are not able to look downwards and outwards past the edges of the, quote, globe, unquote.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's saying. So how do I make it so that, oh, that's...
Well, that's what
I'm not trying to prove flat Earth things, I'm trying to disprove them. Brian?
I'm thinking.
Oh, I didn't know you were. You just went really quiet. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, like... So it's basically saying, like, oh, how come in the south we can see the North Star, but in the north you can't see the southern constellations? So, like, the north can see, like, the south can see things in the north, but the north can't see things in the south, is basically what it's saying. But I don't even know if that's true.
Well, then do your research and see if that's true.
I'm trying to do this without doing much research to just show, like, how common sense can help you figure out that that's not right. And I've done pretty well so far until number 100, where I'm stuck out of 200, by the way.
I have no idea.
Okay, hold on, let me see. Why can... I'll look it up. Why can people in the north not see...
It says it doesn't rise above the horizon.
What do you mean?
Like, they would be able to see it, but it doesn't rise above the horizon, so...
Yeah. Not see southern how do you spell constellation? Constellations? Is that how you spell it? Yeah. If you can't see the entire constellation, it's likely too close to the horizon line and are too far north or south of completely viewing. These constellations stretch across the celestial equator. If you subtract your latitude from 90 degrees, you'll be able to judge how much of opposite hemisphere. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's just saying that you can see. Oh, okay. I think I know how to disprove this one. I think, based on just that one little thing I read, it's like you can see certain things from the north in the south and certain things from the south in the north, but you can't see everything. Yeah. So, like, they can see the North Star in most parts of the south, but we can't see some constellations down there.
There you go.
Sweet. Thank you, Brian. You're the best.
Bye.
Bye. We got through the first 100. Yes. How long have I been recording? Let's check it out. I've been recording for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Part 3. The next 50. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Blah, blah, blah is claimed to be a southern central pole star, similar to there. Is not central, but allegedly 1 degree off center. It is not motionless, and in fact can be seen at all cannot be seen at all using publicly available telescopes. There is legitimate speculation regarding whether that even exists. Either way, the direction in which the stars move overhead is based on perspective and the exact direction you're facing, which is what hemisphere you are in. Okay. So it's saying that no matter what, the stars should move based on where you are on the Earth. Okay, well, first keep in mind that the Earth not only goes around, like, in a circle, but also goes around the Sun. Secondly, the ones by the poles move way less, but if that's even a little bit off, then it's going to move a lot, because 1 degree is a lot when you're talking about such a huge mass, such as the Earth. That's the best I got for that one. I'm starting to lose my mind. 102. Some heliocentrists have tried to suggest that the pole stars gradual declination overhead as an observable global Earth. Far from it, the blah 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 or other object is a simple result of the law of perspective on a plane, flat surfaces. The law of perspective dictates that the angle and height at which an object is seen diminishes the further one recedes from the object until at a certain point the line of sight and the seemingly uprising surfaces of the Earth convergence to a vanishing point, i.e. the horizon line, beyond which the object is invisible. In the ball Earth model, the horizon is claimed to be the curvature of the Earth, whereas in reality the horizon is known as simply vanishing line of perspective. That's because the vanishing line of perspective is the curvature of the Earth. That's what it is. Next. 103. There are several constellations which can be seen from far greater distances than. Okay, that's because some stars shine brighter. All the way down 30 degrees. For this to be possible, ball Earth would have to be seeing through hundreds of thousands of miles of bulging Earth in the northern sky. Okay, you can see some things from some places and some things from other places, but you cannot see things from other places. For instance, point A, you can see constellation X and Y, but not Z. Point B, you can see constellation X and Z, but not Y. Point C, you can, you see some things, you can't see everything, but you see more, equal to or more than half, I'd say. The constellation Vulpecula, cool, can be seen from 90 degrees north latitude, all the way from there. Should not logically be able to see this far. Okay, the brighter the light, or like the larger the source, the brighter the light, the further you can see. Aquarius and Libra can be seen from that. The constellation that can be seen from there, north all the way up there. These are only possible of hemispheres, not spheres, but all blah 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 blah. Curvature of light mixed with how bright a star is, I think is what that's saying. I'm too lazy to read that again. I'm losing it. This so-called South Pole is simply an arbitrary point along the Arctic ice, marked with a red and white barbershop pole, topped with a metal ball Earth. This ceremonial South Pole is admittedly and provably not the actual South Pole. However, because the actual South Pole could be demonstrably, yeah, okay, confirmed with the aid of a compass showing north to be 360 degrees around the observer. Since this feat has never been achieved, the model remains pure theory, along with the establishment's excuse that the geometric poles supposedly constantly move around, making verification of their claims impossible. Yeah, keep in mind, it is an ice, and ice floats on top of water. I don't know if that's what this one's saying, but that's what I'm saying for this. 107. Ring magnets of kind of loudspeakers have central North Pole and opposite South Pole actually being all points of the outer circumference. This perfectly demonstrates the magnet. Managed to get only 8 miles down. The entire taught in schools showing a crust, outer blah, inner blah, outer blah, inner blah layers are purely speculations. We have never penetrated through beyond the crust. Wait, what? It doesn't even make sense. Conveniently cause poles to constantly move, thus evading independent verification of their. In reality, the deepest drilling operation in history managed to get only 8 miles down, so the entire ball Earth model in schools showing that only speculation. I mean, technically, it is speculation based on your drilling statistics and all that, analytics, but. Okay, so you're aware what happens the closer you get to the central point in gravity, right? The more gravity something has, the closer you get, the more the hotter it is, because the more is going on. You know, it wants to pull all the atoms, all the everything in. When everything is pulled in, it gets hotter. Like if a room, the more particles a room is filled with, the hotter that room is. And that's what increases the temperature a lot. So the more it pulls in, the more condensed it gets, and the hotter it gets, causing for magma and all that. Next. The mariners, I got all these up here, right? Yeah, okay. 108. The mariner's compass is an impossible and nonsensical instrument for use on a ball Earth. It simultaneously points north and south over a flat surface, yet never claims to be pinpointing two constantly moving geomagnetic poles at opposite ends of a spinning sphere, originating there. If a compass, actually points down towards there, it would actually be pointing up off into outer space. Okay, so this is probably the dumbest one yet, actually. You're aware that there are two different norths and two different souths, right? Are you aware of that, or do you need me to lay it out for you? You see, okay. We learned this in Boy Scouts. What's it called? Okay, there's north, just the normal north, what everyone calls north, which is just, the northern point of, like, where the latitude and longitude stretch, along with south, that. But then there's magnetic north, and technically magnetic south, but we just go based on magnetic north. Magnetic north is what compasses use. Normal north is just where the big lines meet up. Magnetic north is where the compasses actually point to. Fun fact. There are no fixed east or west points, just as there is no fixed south. The north central pole is the only one proven to be a fixed point on our flat Earth. What? That's because the Earth spins around that point. And it wobbles, but it stays spinning around that point. It's like this. This cap right here, this is the North Pole, alright? It spins around like that, alright? So this is the North Pole, spins around like that. This stays at the exact same point. It can wobble a little bit, but this stays at the same point. 110. That and others east-west circumnavigations of Earth are often quoted as proof of the ball model. In actual fact, however, sailing or flying at right angles, okay, to the North Pole and eventually returning to one's original location is no more difficult or mysterious than doing so on a globe. Just as an architect's compass can place its center point on a flat piece of paper and trace a circle either way around the pole, so can a ship or plane circumnavigate a flat Earth. So you're saying that they can. Sure, I'll give that to you. They can. They are physically able to. It is within the realm of possibility that if they were to be put on a flat plane, they would be able to navigate around it based on this map drawing thing. But in the world we live in, that's just not the case. It's it's theoretically possible for it's theoretically possible for me to down all the Gatorade I have over there. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen right now. I'm just saying, it's possible, but it's not really happening. In some other universe, maybe. 111. Since the North Pole and Antarctica are covered in ice and guarded, no fly zones, no ships or planes have ever been known to circumnavigate the Earth in north or south directions. The only kind of circumnavigation which could not happen on a flat Earth is north and southbound, which is likely the very reason. Or maybe it's just because it's super cold. Who knows? Weird. The sun brings noon to every time zone as it passes directly overhead. 15 degrees, blah, 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 numbers. The time zones were instead caused by the uniform spinning of the ball Earth around the sun. Every 6 months, as Earth found itself on the opposite side of the sun, clocks all over the world would have to flip 12 hours. Excuse me, what? Oh, I see what it's saying. Okay. So, say that the Earth starts like this, alright? And it spins, and it has a full rotation, 24 hours. Full rotation, 24 hours. But eventually, you'll have a full rotation, 24 hours. Say the sun is here, okay? And say I'm on the part of the Earth looking at the sun, alright? Looking at it. Just assume it's here. I know it's not actually, but just assume. Then, after half a year, if it's still in the same location, it would be over here, right? Is that what you're saying? That actually makes a little bit of sense. more sense than what you have been saying before. Not that it makes a lot of sense. Okay, listen, you see, okay, 24 hours is not an exact measurement, which is why we have leap years. So 24 hours is a very good estimate, but the rule for leap years, and not a lot of people actually know the specifics about leap years. I'm pretty sure this is how they actually do it. Leap years. So every year is composed of 365 days, except a leap year, which is 366 days. Now, a leap year happens once every 4 years. So one happened this year, 2020. It was a leap year 2016, 2012, all that. But a little more tacked onto that, that's still not exact, because it's very difficult to get exact. Every 100 years, the leap year doesn't happen. So, for instance, in 2100, the leap year is not going to happen. In the year 2100, the leap year is not going to happen. But, added on to that, I think this is how they do it, but I'm not positive. I could be wrong, but this is the way that has it the closest. But every 400 years, the leap year happens again. So, for instance, in 2000, the leap year would happen because it's divisible by 400. Pretty sure that's how they do it. Not positive. Could be wrong about that. But leap years. Also, 24 hours is not an exact measurement of a full technical exact rotation. My voice is really starting to hurt. Okay. 113. The idea that people are standing, ships are sailing, and planes are flying upside down on certain parts of the Earth while... Oh my gosh. No. I thought people just joked about this one. Oh no. Okay. So, gravity's in the middle. Earth's around it. Plane here. It goes like that. Oh, what do you know? Wow, it's upside down. Wait. No, it's not. Everything is still right side up. It's just gravity pulls in. Everyone, that's the misconception among you flat earthers. You guys think gravity pulls down. Gravity does not pull down. It pulls in. Gravity does not pull down. Let me say it again. Gravity does not pull down. Gravity pulls in. This is the Earth. Gravity does not pull down. It pulls in from all directions, just like that. I hope that answered your stupid question. Quoting on the false wisdom of Blair, a sphere. People on the other side live with their feet above their heads, where rain, snow, and all that. The ancient wonder has been... Okay, same thing I just said. The existing laws of density and buoyancy primarily explain the physics of falling objects long before Sir Isaac Newton bestowed his theory of gravity upon the world. It is a fact that objects placed in denser mediums rise up, while objects placed in less dense mediums sink down. To fit the heliocentric model, which has no up or down, Newton instead claimed objects are attracted to large masses and fall towards the center. That's what I said, yes. Not a single experiment in history, however, has shown an object massive enough to, by virtue of its mass alone, cause other smaller masses to be attracted to it, as Newton claims gravity does with the Earth, the sun, moon, stars, and planets. Wait, what? However, has shown an object massive enough to, by virtue of its mass, cause other smaller masses to be attracted to it. Are you... what? First off, how do you think the Earth formed in the first place? I think it was just here. Or is the Earth just here? Did it just exist? No. Things were attracted to each other, so they came together, and they made the Earth after gazillions of years. But, what about... Okay, first off, momentum. Very powerful thing. Keep saying it. If an asteroid is flying through space, it's not immediately going to get attracted by the Earth. But, you know what is attracted by the Earth? That we see all the time? That I literally can see out my window? The moon. That's right. Wait, but why doesn't the moon crash into the Earth? Because the momentum is keeping it spinning around the Earth. Pretty cool, huh? There's also never been a single experiment in history showing an object enough to a virtual mass alone cause other small objects to orbit around it. What? An object with massive enough to, by virtue of its mass alone, cause another smaller mass to orbit around it. The moon orbits around the Earth. The Earth orbits around the sun. The sun orbits around the center of the galaxy. That's already 3. Jupiter has moons, like a gazillion. Saturn has a whole bunch of moons. Like, what about rings? Saturn's rings. Come on, there's so many. Newton theorized about an commonly taught Earth's ocean's tides, lunar attraction. If the moon is only that miles in diameter, and the Earth is that, however, using their own math and law, it focuses 87 more times. Sea level or gravitation, if the moon's gravity truly did supersede the Earth's, causing the tides to draw towards it, there should be nothing to stop them from continuing onwards and upwards. No, okay, listen. It's like a, okay, think of this kind of like gravity, how I've explained it so far. So, the moon comes out, well, the moon isn't only out at night, but like, the moon orbits around the Earth. It goes around the Earth. Now, say that I have, now keep in mind, this is just, the moon is just another force pulling. So let's instead assume a force pushing instead of pulling of an equal amount. Let's say the moon pulls X amount. Now let's say I have a ball. I throw the ball up into the sky with that amount of force. Now eventually, the ball, as long as I didn't use my super strong arm to throw it out of the Earth, which I wouldn't even make sense because X is the amount that the moon pulls. When I throw it up, it falls back down. I throw it up, it falls back down. Just like that. But if I just place it, if I just start with it up at the top, it's just going to fall down. It's not going to go all the way back up. It might bounce depending on what ball it is, but it's not going to go all the way back up. Just like the moon, if the moon was out all the time, the tides wouldn't be, rapid. It would be, just normal ocean. It would pretty much get used to it at a certain place. But the moon coming around, a change in force. Let's follow it. Change in force. Let's follow it. Change in force. I need more Gatorade. Oh, my voice hurts so bad. Okay, there we go. I'm losing it. Okay. The velocity and paths of the moon are uniform and should therefore exert a uniform influence on Earth's tides. And in actuality, the Earth's tides is really great and do not follow the moon. The Earth's lakes, ponds, marshes, and other things will remain forever outside of the moon's gravitational grasp. There's not enough there to get it going. The reason it happens to the ocean is because the ocean is so big. Next. Number 119 is claimed that other planets are spheres, so therefore Earth must also be a sphere. First, Earth is a plane, not a planet. So, the shape of these planets in the sky have no bearing on the shape of the Earth beneath our feet. Secondly, these planets have been known for thousands of years around the world as the wandering stars, since they differ from... Okay. Pictures shown by NASA are all clearly fake computer-generated images and not photographs. Excuse me, what? That's just an inference. That's just a guess. That's not evidence. Evidence is like, oh, I think this because of that. No, it's just, they're fake. They're fake. No, they're just fake. You see, the only reason I can't disprove that is because there's nothing to disprove. You just saying they're fake doesn't give me anything. They're fake. Well, you know what? No, here's how I'm going to disprove it. I found a way. You know the flat Earth? That's fake. No, it's fake. You guys just made it up. It's fake. The Earth is round because I said the flat Earth is fake. There we go. Disproved 119. Kinda. 120. The word planet actually comes from there. The old French say that from Greek. It says that wandering star, wander, blah. Unknown origin, possibly from that. And plane, surface. They just added a T. Wait, hold on. They're saying that the Earth is a plane, and they just added a T, and now the Earth, now everyone thinks the Earth is a planet because they just added a T for fun. Are you joking? Is this a joke? Is this an actual prank? Am I being trolled by internet trolls on this trolly website? That's not... Again, no way to disprove that. You know what? You guys think that it's a plane, but the person who originally wrote it down for all of you guys, they just forgot the letter T on the end. So, it's actually a planet, but they forgot the letter T and everyone bought it. What do you know? Weird. When you observe the sun and the moon, you see two equally sized, equidistant... Hold on, what? Circles, tracing similar paths at similar speeds around a flat stationary Earth. Every day, false on all accounts. They say Earth is not flat, but being a ball, but a big ball, not stationary, but spinning around 19 million miles per second. Yeah, okay. The sun, and the sun is actually 400 times larger than the moon and 400 times further away. You can clearly see they're the same size and distance. What? You can see... What? I love this line. But according to the gospel of modern astronomy, you are wrong and a simpleton, worthy of endless ridicule if you dare to trust your own eyes and experience. I'd like to point something out real quick on these images down here that you have. So, I'm aware that the sun is made of light. Well, it's not made of light. It gives off so much light. That makes no sense. It's a big ball of gas. But, you're saying that they're the same distance away. Notice how, look at the quality of this picture of the moon. Wow, that's a good quality picture. Like, look at that. Wow, that's... Ooh, you can see, like, the individual craters and specks on the moon. Oh, wow. Wait a sec. Look at the quality of the sun. It's almost like this picture was taken from 93 million miles away. That is so weird. Strange. I wonder how that happened. Quoting from Alan Daves, if the government or NASA had said something about the Earth being stationary, imagine that. Then you'd imagine trying to convince people that no, it's not stationary, it's moving forward at 32 times rifle bullet speed and spinning that fast. We would be laughed at. We would have so many people telling us, you are crazy, the Earth is not moving. So they're saying that we're not the ridiculous ones, you're the ridiculous ones. I mean, you guys are kind of ridiculous. I guess it would have made sense a million years ago. The cavemen. Maybe. No, I don't think cavemen were around. I don't know. Everything's kind of fuzzy. My brain is losing it after reading all these weird things. No, would have made sense to say it was flat a long time ago. But now that we actually have a grasp on modern day science, and we have for a long time, hundreds of years, maybe you should rethink your brain. Always sound perfectly precise, but they have historically been notorious for regularly and drastically changing them to suit their various models. For instance, in his time, Copernicus calculated the sun's distance from Earth to be that. Okay, well, he was wrong. Well, I wonder why that is. That's so weird. Maybe it's because we keep getting better technology that can reach further. And before, we used all the limits of the technology to try to reach it, but now we're surpassing through the more densely packed light that the sun emits. Maybe, who knows? Wait, how does the above do these below? No, okay. 124, amateur balloon footage taken above clouds has provided stunning visual proof that the sun cannot be millions of miles away. In several shots, you can see a clear hot spot reflecting on the clouds directly below the sun's spot-like influence. If the sun were actually millions of miles away, such a small, localized hot spot cannot occur. That's just not true. That's just wrong. The sun is so big. The sun is so enormous and gigantic and humongous. It is massive. So, that makes so much sense. It looks small because it's so far away, but it's so big because it's so far away. And okay. Good work. 125. Another proof that the sun is not millions of miles away is found by tracing the angle of the sun rays back to the sun and the clouds. There are thousands of pictures showing the sunlight came down from the clouds of various angles. But that's just because the holes in the clouds allow the sunlight to go through them. Yeah, I'm sure if you were to trace the lines back, you would end up a point right here. But that's just how the light dispersed. Because light can do that. The sun's annual journey from tropic to tropic, solstice to solstice, is what determines the length and character of days, nights, and seasons. This is why equatorial regions experience almost year-round summer and heat, while higher latitudes, north and especially south, experience more distant seasons with harsh winters. The heliocentric model claims seasons based on balls, Earth's July when actually summer, blah blah blah. When it was actually summer throughout most of the Earth. Okay, so this is just showing. Okay. I don't get what this one is even saying. Their flawed current model places us closest to the sun in January, when it's actually winter. And the farthest when it's... Okay. Wait, this is the one I'm on, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just because our winter is... Okay, when it's cold for us, it's someone else's warm. And when it's warm for us, it's someone else's cold. We, like, where we live, just happens to be there. Like, we happen to be at this point. That's my best explanation for that. The sun and moon's reflections on water form a straight path to the horizon. Form a straight path from the horizon to the observer. If it's not a ball, if the Earth's surface was curved, it would be impossible for the reflected light to curve over the ball from the horizon to observer. The curve is so minuscule. Also, I'd like to point out, this is not a straight line. I don't know if you can tell. I'm literally able to tell that is barely not a straight line. I will hold up something. I'm going to hold up this whiteboard to there. I'm going to kind of disappear. Actually, no, wait. Cheez-It box. They're literally just wrong. It's literally not a straight line. All they needed was to hold a Cheez-It box up to the image to see that it is not a straight line. Next. There are huge century-old stone sundials and moondials all over the world, which still tell time down to the minute. It's perfectly as the day they were made. If the Earth, Sun, and Moon were truly subject to the number of contradictory revolving, rotating, wobbling, and spiraling motions, by that, it would be impossible for these to be so accurately tell time without constant adjustment. Okay, so they're progressively getting less accurate, but it takes so long in the grand scheme that it's not noticeable until a long, long time in the future. That's the answer for that one. Oh my goodness, these are pretty big. Why should the observer fix telescopes on solid stone base that should not move a hair's breadth? Okay. If Earth on which they fix them moves at the rate 19 miles in a second, indeed, to believe that 6,000 million tons is that. Okay, hold the phone. Now give the phone to me. Now, you're assuming that the weight/mass of the Earth has anything to do with it in space. Keep in mind, there is no force pulling it down in space. The only forces on the Earth in space, really, the only main ones that really affect it are the sun and the black hole in the center of the galaxy that the Earth technically goes around while it goes around with the sun. But it's mainly the sun, just because that's all that we hear about. That's that one. Next one. From Earth, not a globe. It's not even proper grammar. Earth, not a globe. Take two carefully boarded metallic tubes, not less than 6 feet in length, and place them 1 yard asunder. Sure, I don't know. On the opposite sides of a wooden frame or a solid block of wood or stone. So adjust them that their centers and axes of visions shall perfectly parallel each other. Now, direct them to the plane of a notable fixed star in a few seconds previous to its Mediterranean or its meridian line. Let an observer be stationed at each tube at the moment the star appears in the first tube. Let out a knock or other signal be given, to be repeated by the other observer at the second tube when he first sees the same star. A distinct period of time will elapse between the two signals given. The signals will follow each other in very rapid succession, but still the time between is sufficient to show that the same star is not visible at the same moment by two parallel lines. Of sight when only 1 yard. Blah, blah, blah. A slight inclination of the second tube towards the first tube would be required for the star. Okay, so they're saying that if you look at... Okay. If two people from supposedly the same distance look at the moon or the star or whatever, and so the first one to see it yells out something, and then whenever the next person sees it, they yell out something. Well, an automatic flaw with that is that it takes time for sound to travel. That's pretty much the problem with that one, if all the other conditions are met, really. Okay. Moon is solid and spherical like Earth. Claim the moon is... Okay, so it doesn't give off light. It reflects light from the sun. It's not a solid body. It is clearly circular, but not spherical. In fact, the moon has been proven largely transparent. Excuse me, what? Largely transparent? And completely self-luminescent. Shining. with its own unique light. Okay, I'd like to ask, where does that light come from? And don't say it comes from the moon. Where in the moon does the light come from? Does it come from the gas that's in the transparent moon? Because that's not a thing. I mean, okay, fine, there's gas in, technically, but it's not... You're saying that the moon is transparent and a circle. What about the shades of the... What about the phases of the moon when the sun reflects on there? Does a portion of the moon just give up? It's like, oh, it's not my time to shine today. Let's just stay dark today. I'm not really feeling it. That doesn't even make sense. The sun's light is golden, warm, drying, preservative, and antiseptic. This is a cool picture, by the way. I do like this picture, other than this watermark down here. Don't like that. Let's see. When exposed to moonlight, plant and animal substances tend to show symptoms of putrefaction and decay. Sun and moon light are different, unique, and opposite. Well, what? You're saying that the light from the moon and light from the sun are different. The sun's light gets reflected off the moon. That may be why it's different. Next. Oh, wait, you guys don't believe that. Well, go refer to previous. 133. Indirect sunlight. A thermometer would read higher than one placed in the shade, but in full direct moonlight. Okay. Light is being reflected from the moon, but not nearly as much heat is being reflected from the moon. Some is, but not nearly as much. The sun provides the direct source. Most of the heat goes to wherever the sun is shining. So, in fact, the moon would be relatively hot if the sun was shining exactly on the moon for that period of time. But then, it reflects the light. We see the light. We don't see the warmth. We would feel the warmth, but it contains within the moon. The moon itself cannot physically be both spherical and a reflector. Why not? They must be flat or concave for light rays to have any angle of incidence. That's just not true. That's literally just a lie. That's literally not true. You're telling me that if I have a ball and I shine a flashlight on a ball, it's just not going to do anything? I'm just not going to see the ball? Like, what? Like, how about this? Are you able to see my face right now? You are? That's weird, because my face isn't flat. That's weird, because light shouldn't be reflecting off of my face, but it apparently is. That's so strange. Not only is it clear and self-luminescent, shining its own unique light, but it also is largely transparent. Let's see, on a clear night, during cycles, it is even possible to occasionally see stars and planets directly through the surface of the moon. Excuse me, what? Okay, well, I think it means closer to the edges of the moon, but still kind of through it. Remember the thing about light not only bending on Earth? Well, I didn't think I'd have to get into this, but it also bent through space. And in fact, I even pulled that up, I think. I did when I looked at curvature of light. Bends through space. Space bends around the moon, just like it bends around the Earth, and it bends around the sun, and all that. Light travels following the bend in space. Oh, 136. Ability accurately predict random solar phase as a result of proof positive. Blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is that eclipses have been accurately predicted by cultures worldwide for thousands of years before the heliocentric ball Earth was even a glimmer in Copernicus's imagination. with precision in 18-year cycles. So regardless of geocentric or heliocentric, flat or globe Earth cosmologies, eclipses can be accurately calculated independent of such factors. I love how that says regardless of flat or globe Earth. That's not even proof of a flat Earth. It says regardless of both, moving on. Another assumption and supposed proof of Earth's shape. Lunar eclipses are caused by the shadow of the ball Earth occulting the moon. Okay, I cannot read. They claim the sun, Earth, and moon spheres perfectly align like 3 billiard balls in... Hi, I'm in the middle of filming a YouTube video and it's still recording, so...
Alright, do you want us to bring you something to eat? We have pizza. We have grotto pizza. But is there anything else? Like, we're at Wegmans right now, the big grocery store.
You should get me McDonald's.
No, I'm not bringing McDonald's. I'm not even near a McDonald's.
Okay, I'm not hungry.
Okay, love you.
You too, bye. Cool. Alright, anyway, back to this. I'm not editing that. Nothing is being edited here. I'm gonna upload it. How long has this been going, by the way? Almost 2.5 hours, just about. Okay. So, cannot be the Earth's shadow. Okay. No, okay, so that's not even how it works, actually. Yeah, no, that's not even how it works. Okay, so first off, it doesn't just go exactly straight. Every now and then, it'll be straight enough where we'll have an eclipse. It doesn't go exactly straight. You're just wrong in your research. Another favorite proof of ball earthers is that the appearance from an observer on shore of ships' hulls being obfuscated, okay, by the water and disappearing from view when sailing away towards the horizon. Their claim is that ships' hulls disappear before their mastheads because the ship is beginning its declination around the convex curvature of the ball Earth. Their hasty conclusion is drawn from a faulty premise, namely, that only on a ball Earth could this phenomenon occur. The fact of the matter is that the law of perspective in plane surfaces dictates and necessitates the exact same occurrence. For example, a girl wearing a dress walking away... Why do I keep getting notifications? A girl wearing a dress walking away towards the horizon will appear to sink into the earth the further away she walks. Her feet will disappear from view at first, and the distance between her and the ground at the bottom will gradually diminish. And then, such is the case on plane surfaces. Okay, yeah, you're right. Such is the case on plane surfaces. That doesn't mean that the Earth is flat. I could have a really large frisbee, like a huge frisbee. I could put a ball on, or I guess a cube would work better. A cube on where I am and a cube all the way at the end. You're right. The cube at the end would be smaller. Congrats. Doesn't mean anything. Not only is the disappearance of the ship's hulls explained by the law of perspective on flat surfaces, is proven undeniably true with the aid of a good telescope. If you watch a ship sailing away into the horizon with the naked eye until fully disappeared in the curvature of the Earth, then look through a telescope, you'll notice the entire ship quickly zooms back into view, hull and all, providing, okay, curvature of light. Often quoted as proof rotating Earth, but upon closer investigation proved the opposite. Do not uniformly swing in any one direction. Oh, I saw one of those. Yeah. Okay, that's so cool. I saw one at California. Yeah, no, I don't know. What do you mean? 360 degrees. Then there should not exist a stationary pendulum anywhere on Earth. I forget. It was explained to me how they did this. Let me think. Wasn't it like, I don't remember if it was like magnetized or what? But it was really cool. Initial force into, yeah. Manually start it in motion. Yes, you would need to start it in motion because of momentum. So that already disproves the first part. Second part, where there's no stationary point on Earth, I'm pretty sure it works with... I don't remember how, if it was magnets or if it was like some spring system. I'm not sure. I don't have the energy to look that up right now. Just look it up. Just look this up. Just look that up. Good. Now that you've done it, on to the next one. That is often said to cause sinks and toilet bowls in the northern hemisphere to drain, spinning in one direction, while in the southern hemisphere causing them to spin the opposite way, thus providing proof of the spinning ball Earth. Once again, however, sinks and toilets in the northern and southern hemispheres do not consistently spin in one direction. Yeah, you know why? Because toilets, it's not just like a hole and then water comes out of it. It's pointed in a certain direction. It's usually skewed. 142. People claim that if the Earth were flat, they should be able to use a telescope and see clear across the oceans. This is absurd, however, as the air is full of precipitation, especially over the oceans, and especially at the lowest, densest layers, not transparent. Yes, however, you can zoom a telescope much, much more of our flat Earth. Okay, curvature of light. The sun circling over and around us, we should be able to see the sun from anywhere all over the Earth. And there should be daylight even at nighttime. Since the sun is not 93 million miles away, but rather just a few thousand and shining down like a spotlight, once it has moved significantly far enough away from your location, it becomes visible beyond the horizon. The horizon. Excuse me, what? It just disappears. The problem with that is that you said things get smaller as they go along the horizon. Or I guess in this case, if you look up the horizon. Do you ever see the sun get bigger or smaller in the sky? Or does it almost always just go up and down and up and down? Weird. Maybe you should stick to your own story. Peculiar. I did that one, right? Yes. Okay. Pictures of the moon appearing to be upside down from the southern hemisphere and right side up from the north hemisphere. Proof of the ball Earth. But once again, upon closer inspection, provide another proof of the flat model. In fact, time-lapse photography shows the moon itself turns clockwise like a wheel as it circles over and around the Earth. Okay. At 360 degrees of various inclinations all over the Earth, simply depending on where the picture was taken. That's because there are so many places around the Earth to look up at the moon. 145. Moon is a ball, even though its appearance clearly that of a flat disk. First off, what? Do you see this like whitish border around the moon here Here, notice how it gets brighter? Yeah, that's because there's more light looking in that direction that's more concentrated. You can see it like that solely because, like, okay, if you're looking at a spot like this, you just see this area of light, this area of light, 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 light. If you're looking over here, you see light going off into the distance a little ways, which is why it's brighter. That's already wrong. I'm not going to give that one justice of reading the rest of it. Next. Ball Earth claims claims the moon orbits around the Earth once every 28 days. Yet it is plain for anyone to see that the moon orbits around the Earth every single day. Excuse me, what? No. No, I think you're misunderstanding. You see, the moon, the moon travels around the Earth. But what's different from the moon traveling around the Earth is that it goes through all the phases. So technically, it would take 28 days to revolve through the phases, meaning it would have to do a full rotation by then to start back where it started prior. Next. Ball Earth model claims the sun is precisely 400 times larger than the moon and 400 times farther away from the Earth, making them falsely appear exactly the same size. Once again, the Ball model asks us to accept as coincidence something that cannot be explained other than natural design. It can be explained. So, not really coincidence if you think about it. The moon goes around the Earth, and the Earth goes around the sun. Now, in order for the moon to not break free or collide into the Earth, it has to be a certain size and a certain distance. For the sun to not release the Earth free of its orbit or pull it into itself, the Earth has to be a certain size and a certain distance. Same thing. Now, if you think about it, 400 and 400, there's something fishy. Oh yeah, wait. They're the same number. They're the same number. We see the sun. The sun is huge. It's a perfect distance away, where it'll contain the Earth in its orbits, like in Earth's orbits, without it breaking free from its direct path. Same with the sun in relation to the Earth. The 400 is a ratio. It's 1:1. 400 to 400. Next. 148. Quoting, Earth not globe, exclamation mark. It is found by observation that the stars come from the meridian about 4 minutes earlier every 24 hours than the sun, taking the solar time as the standard. This makes 120 minutes every 30 days and 24 hours in the year. Hence, all the constellations have passed before or in advance of the sun in that time. This is the simple fact as observed in nature, but the theory of roundity in motion on axes and in an orbit has no place for it. The visual truths must be ignored because this theory stands in the way and prevents the votaries, cannot read, from understanding it. Okay, so all that this is saying is that constellations disappear when sun comes out, I think. Also, time doesn't match up. Leap years, further rules with leap years, hello. Okay, but constellations, that's because the sun is too bright. You can't see the constellations. Stars are still up there, fun fact. I don't know if that's what this one was implying, but that's what it sounded like to me. Throughout thousands of years, the same constellations have remained fixed in their same patterns without moving whatsoever. It's not actually true. They've technically moved. But if the Earth were a big ball spinning around a bigger sun, spinning around a bigger galaxy, shooting off from the biggest bang, as NASA claims, it is impossible that the constellations would remain so fixed based on their model. We should, in fact, have an entirely different night sky every single night, and never repeat exactly the same star pattern twice. I see what you're saying, but that's where you're wrong. You know how long it takes for like any noticeable change to happen? There have been many noticeable changes. Constellations have grown further apart, mainly. Many noticeable changes. However, like that's just like not even. That just doesn't even make any sense at all. Moving on. If Earth were a spinning ball, it would be impossible to photograph star-like time lapses during perfect circles around Polaris, anywhere but the North Pole. At all other vantage points, the stars would be seen to travel more or less horizontally across the observer's horizon, due to the alleged 1,000 mile per hour motion beneath their feet. In reality, however, Polaris' surrounding stars can always be photographed during, turning perfect circles around the central star all the way down to the Tropic of Capricorn. Impossible to photograph star trail time lapses. What? No, that's just not even true. It would not be impossible. It would be very easy. It's there. Stars are here. They go around. I don't see what the big deal is. Was that 150? 149, 150. 150. Also, this is a really cool constellation picture. Let's see what I can name. We have I don't even know where a lot of these are even. It's like okay, I actually have no clue. I was trying to find. Oh, I was thinking of this one, the lobster thing. I don't remember what it was called. Is that? I know there's one that's like. Okay, I don't know really any of these actually. I was looking for Orion/Orion's belt. Don't know where it is in here. This is a very big image, I will say. Anywho, continuing. 50 remaining until we are free. And does that spin every time? Whatever. How long have we been zooming? Let's check it out. We've been zooming for 2 hours and 46 minutes. This is going to be a big video. I might not add music. I'm not able to add this much music. We're going to finish strong. If Earth were a spinning ball revolving around the sun, it would actually be impossible for star trail photos to show perfect circles, even at the North Pole, since the Earth is also allegedly moving that fast, and the sun is moving that fast. The entire galaxy is going that fast. These four contradictory motions would make star trail time lapses show irregular curved lines. Okay, well, no, because okay, let me think about this. Okay, so keep in mind, they're not perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's not a perfect circle. It's not exact. In fact, it progressively gets less perfect, but they look perfect because it takes a long time to notice. Next one. In 2003, 3 university geography professors collaborated in an experiment to prove that the state of Kansas is indeed actually flatter than a pancake. I'm pretty sure it is, by the way. Using topographical geodetic surveys covering over 80,000 square miles, it was determined that Kansas has a flatness ratio of that over the entire state, while the average of a pancake precisely measured using that comes to that, making Kansas thereby literally flatter than a pancake. That is true. That is literally true. That's just a fun fact. That's not any proof. That's a fun fact. Vast areas exhibit a perfectly dead level, scarcely a rise existing through 1,500 miles. The plains of there are teamed or level fields, okay? Often in the space of 270 square miles, the surface does not vary a single foot. The Amazon only falls 12 feet in the last 700 miles of its course. There's only a descent of... Okay. This feels very similar to ones we did before. Just go back to the first page. Yeah, that's really all I can say. Just go back to the first page. All about the angle of the dangle, you know. 154. The Felix blah 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 outside the camera shows curvature of the Earth from a surface level jump height, proving it to be deceiving. Proving it to be a deceiving fish-eyed wide-angle lens, while the inside regular camera shows a perfectly flat horizon, eye level at 128,000 feet, which is only consistent on a flat plane. Oh, okay, so it's saying this one shows a flat horizon, this one shows a curved horizon. Okay, well, this one seems more flat because your light, the light from the Earth that is mostly being reflected from the sun, curves going around the Earth through space into your eyeballs, while out here you can see more of it. The more you can see, the more curved it looks, pretty much. Next one, 155. They have seen the curvature of the Earth from airplane windows. Oh my gosh. The glass used in all commercial airplanes, however, is curved to remain flush with the fuselage. Fuselage. I don't know. Okay. It's because the Earth is flat. Okay, so they're saying, oh, that's not how it works. Okay, so I kind of see what they're saying. Well, I dropped the marker. Okay, no, I kind of see what they're saying. I'm going to erase this while I'm talking. So, all they're saying is that since airplanes have glass windows that are curved, or whatever windows that are curved, and you claim to see a curved Earth, when you look out, that's because the curve of the glass cancels out the flatness of the Earth. However, if you look through a different state of matter, okay, take it like this. Okay, you put a straw in a glass of water. You look in the glass of water. What do you see? You see the straw come down, but then it looks like it cracks or bends or something like that, and it just goes to a different angle. However, what happens when the straw is on the other side of the glass of water? Assume that the glass is cubed, okay? A cubed glass. Because that would curve it because the water, there's less water looking wherever you're looking. Looking through, things like that would make it seem, like normal again. Looking through a curved, empty glass, which is what this is doing, is not going to change how you see something. As long as you start in one form of matter and you end in the same form of matter without going through, I don't know. The best way I can explain this is it's pretty much the straw thing. I don't really know how else to go in detail with that. I don't think I did a good job explaining that one, but, the other 199 will probably make up for that. I think this one was fine overall. People claim to see curvature on GoPros. Okay, well, GoPros automatically curve things. So don't worry about GoPros. They automatically curve things. That's just how GoPros work. That cannot be used to help nor go against at either side. Disproving you. You're welcome. Gravity. Magically drag the atmosphere along with a spinning ball. It doesn't. It's momentum. Next, not giving that the time of day. along with a spinning ball. Momentum. Next. Not getting that on the time of day either. Progressively faster and faster spinning atmosphere. The higher altitude would mean that abruptly end at some key altitude where the fastest layer of that spinning would be the non-gravitized, non-spinning atmosphere, or that is true. It's never mentioned what altitude this impossible. No. Okay. So it it progressively gets weaker over time. There's no specific point because space isn't completely empty. It's easily described as empty, but it's not completely empty. No. Space has particles, and you can say that it stops right after the stratosphere. Like the Earth's gravity, it stops right after the stratosphere. You can say it stops right on the horizon of space. You could say it stops at, all these different places. It really solely depends on your definition of stops. Now, for instance, say that I leave the Earth in a rocket ship. That rocket ship still has the momentum from the Earth, and it is still barreling along through space at an angle. It's not going exactly straight. But eventually, given enough, force, which it has, it will not be affected by that. And do you go based off of where it's not affected, or right when you leave the stratosphere, or where? It's all up for grabs. Magically drag the atmosphere along. The next one. Faster and faster atmosphere, the higher. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did that one. Yeah, I just did 50 or 159. 158 done, 159 done. 160. It is impossible for rockets of any type of jet propulsion engines to work in a legend non-atmosphere vacuum space because without air atmosphere to push them or to push against, there's nothing to propel a vehicle forwards. Huh? The rockets and shuttles would be sent spinning around their own axis. Wait, what? To work in the non-atmosphere vacuum of space. Okay, well, first off, if you push gases in space one way, you're going to go the other way. Like, if I had a baseball in space, and I threw it, the baseball would go that way, and I would slowly be going back behind me, behind where I threw the baseball. Much slower, because the force is much different. But that's how it works. Fun fact. Next. If the Earth were really a ball, there would be no reason for rockets flying into outer space anyway, because simply flying an airplane straight out at any altitude long enough. Nope, already did that. Curvature of the Earth accounts for airplanes. All NASA and other space agencies rocket launches never go straight up. Every rocket launch forms a parabolic, curve, peaks out, and inevitably starts falling back to Earth. The rockets which are declared successful are those which don't explode or start falling too soon, but make it out of range of the spectator view before crashing down into restricted waters and recovered. So they're just saying every rocket launch is fake too. No. By this point, they're already leaving the atmosphere, and we're still going. You are dumb. But I'm sorry, but it's true. NASA and other space agencies have been caught time and again with air bubbles forming and floating off in their official outer space footage. Astronauts have also been caught using scuba space gear, kicking their legs to move, and astronaut Luca, Parmitano even almost drowned when water started filling up his helmet while allegedly on a spacewalk. It is admitted that astronauts train for their spacewalks in underwater training facilities, like NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab. But it's obvious from their space bubbles and other blunders that is that all official spacewalk footage is also fake and filmed underwater. I'm losing my mind, by the way. Also, he doesn't say spacewalk, he says laser, not spacewalk, it's laser. Anyway, so they're just saying that astronauts pretend to spacewalk underwater. How would they even do that? How would that work? Because it's not the same. You see, how do I even explain this? I never thought it's like explaining the difference between like a light bulb and a bottle of glue. They're obviously so different, but how do you explain the difference? Okay, so like, okay, first off, I don't even know how to explain the difference between this one. Let's see, water. How about... Okay, so my question is, where would they do this? Because they'd have to do it at a place where they could easily edit in the background without it looking really bad CGI. Now, there aren't that many water places that I can think of, especially this place shown in the picture, that could be even feasible for doing this. That's my evidence for this. I don't know how to disprove this exactly because I don't even know how we got to this point. But anyway, we're just going to continue on now. Next one. Analysis of many interior videos from the International Space Station have shown the use of camera tricks such as green screens. Okay, so green screen. So they're just saying that it's fake. Excuse me. They're just saying that it's fake. Well, it's not. So you're like, oh, it's fake because we said so. That's nothing. I can't disprove something that you're like, because I said so. Let's see. Flying. For long uncut shots, they've been cut using simple wires and green screen technology. I just think that's wrong. I just think that's a lie. I think you're just incorrect about that. Next. NASA claims one can observe the International Space Station pass by overhead, proving its existence. Yet, analysis of the ISS seen through zoom cameras proves it to be some type of hologram drone. You know how much more difficult it would have been to make a hologram in space for one person on Earth to see than to just do it like normally? Like, what? A hologram? First off, how would they get that hologram to go up there? Something would have to be up there. If they build something up there to contain the hologram, why not just build the space station? That'd be way easier. Not to say it'd be easy. Continuing. That communications satellite was first created by that guy, science fiction writer him, and supposedly became a science fact just a decade later. Were already well established and worked fine using only ground-based technologies. Nowadays, that all without the aid of science fiction bestsellers known as satellites. Okay, so they're just saying the satellites are not real. Actual satellites. I like how they looked up actual satellites in space. Why? I don't understand why you think satellites are fake. Like, you know, technically the moon is a satellite because it revolves around the Earth. It's a satellite is defined as anything that revolves around the Earth. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. But like, what? How would we even get those pictures? Would we just? How would we Photoshop that? Would we just build one of those and then put like an earthy background behind it? Is that what you're saying? Like, how do you think GPS works? Like modern day. Not like the Lauren or Decca or however you say those. But like modern day. Or like Google, is it Google Maps? Yeah. Continuing. Satellites are floating around in the thermosphere, where temperatures are claimed to be upwards of that. The metals used in satellites, however, such as aluminum, have melting points of that, and all far lower than they could possibly handle. Okay. Well, you might need to fact check a little bit. Also, I'm sure that if the temperatures are not suitable for the metals, they have some sort of thing on them to make it more suitable, some sort of like heat resistance system or heat reflecting, something like that. But I don't even know if those statistics or those analytics or whatever are right. That's my answer for that one. I'm losing it. 168. So-called satellite phones have been found to have reception problems in countries like Kazakhstan with very few cell phone towers. If Earth were a ball with 20,000 plus satellite surroundings, such blackouts should not regularly occur in rural countryside areas. Well, it gets intercepted. Cell phone towers and all that are helpful in that they're just able to connect technologically with satellites. In a place with less of those, and where there's more stuff blocking the way, then it's going to be more difficult for a signal to get to your device. So-called satellite TV dishes are almost always positioned from or at a 45-degree angle towards the nearest ground-based repeater tower. If TV antenna were actually picking up signals from satellites 100 plus miles in space, most TV dishes should be pointing more or less straight up to the sky. No. Okay. They have the signal up there. You point to these. Okay. So think of it like someone trying. Okay. Think of it coincidentally and ironically as someone trying to get their point across. Weird, right? The point is up in the sky. That's what I'm trying to prove. This whole idea, whatever I'm trying to prove, up in the sky. All right, it's up above my head in the thought bubble, and I'm like, hey, that is right. And I'm a popular guy in the name of science. All right, science is like, yeah, we respect him. I'm like, that is right. That is right. Is it easier for another person to go, that is right, that is right, or for them to be like, yeah, listen to him, and I go, that is right, that is right. Who would you listen to more? Someone who's like, hey, I know, and then they're like, this. Or someone who's like, I know it's right, then this. And then I give like 20 million reasons. I give 200 reasons why I'm right. See what I did there? But yeah, that's actually how it works. So, cool. People claim to see satellites with their naked eyes. But this is ridiculous. Okay, no, you can see the light on... Whoa, voice crack. I'm so sorry about that. You can see the light of a satellite with your naked eye. Because you can just see it moving. Yeah. So, yeah. More drink. So satellites are edited in Photoshop, apparently, according to number 171. No real satellite photographs of the supposed ball Earth exist. In favor of NASA's Earth. Okay. So you're saying that hold on. Okay. So you're saying that a satellite has never taken a picture of the ball Earth. You know why? Because the Earth is three-dimensional. How do you take a three-dimensional picture without using a hologram? Doesn't make sense, does it? If you pick any cloud in the sky and watch for several minutes, two things will happen. The clouds will move, and they will morph gradually, changing shape. In official NASA footage of the spinning ball Earth, such as the Galileo time-lapse video, however, clouds are constantly shown for 24 plus hours at a time, not moving or morphing whatsoever. This is completely impossible. Okay. So, not moving or morphing. No, okay. The body. Okay, the clouds versus the cloud body, that's two different things. Clouds they're just like, oh, I see a cloud, look at what it's doing in the sky. A cloud body is like, oh, this is the main cluster of the clouds. It can dissolve, it can, break apart, it can come together, it can be cleaved, or it can be cleaved. Cleave is my favorite word. Just saying. Cleave means cleave means like broken apart, but cleave also means put together. It's cool. Anyway, next one. NASA has several alleged photographs of the ball Earth, which show several exact duplicate cloud patterns. Likelihood of having 2 or 3 clouds of the exact same shape in the exact same picture, finding 2 or 3 people with exactly the same fingerprints. Okay, well, first off, actually, okay, so, okay, I'm kind of seeing what they're saying. Okay, well, it could just be a coincidence, because they are monitoring clouds all over the Earth at all times. So some are bound to be relatively similar, but they're not exactly the same. That's that. That's literally it for that one. NASA graphics artists have placed things like faces, dragons, and even the word gender into cloud patterns. What? Okay, let's see. Pluto, pictures of Pluto. Okay, that's just your eyes seeing things. By the way, yes, this word means gender. Just saying. Also, professional photo analysts, I'm sorry, I don't know what that was, have dissected several NASA images of the ball Earth and found undeniable proof of computer editing. How long have I been going at this? Let me check. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Oh my word. Alright. Let's see. There would be no need for such fake pictures. Well, I mean, some I'm sure are not fake. Many, of course, are not fake. And some are probably just cool aesthetics for background wallpaper. They're probably not a legitimate thing that they were trying to show. When NASA's images of the ball Earth are compared with one another, the correlation and the land oceans, relative size, continents, it's so drastically different. One another proved beyond. Okay, North America grew according to this. No. Okay, so look, this is like what it would actually like relatively look like. This, however, this is again curvature of light along with that's not. I don't even think that that's the entire Earth picture. I think that they're just leaving part of it out also. But still, no, that's not how it works. Also, notice how this one is more zoomed in because you can tell it's less quality. A large quality difference also means that the photo is drastically different. Let's see. You can watch the official leaked NASA footage showing Apollo 11 astronauts, them, for almost an hour using transparencies and camera tricks to fake shots of around Earth. Huh. But when the camera tricks were finished, and the viewer could see for themselves, the astronauts, okay, were not more than a couple dozen miles above the Earth's surface, likely flying in a high-altitude plane. Okay, so it probably wasn't camera tricks. They probably just had like a camera to show more of the Earth, because they couldn't see it from wherever they were, because that wasn't the actual mission. Next. People claim Google Earth somehow proves the ball without realizing the Earth, or that Google Earth is simply a composite program of images taken from high-quality altitude planes and street-level car cameras superimposed onto a CGI model of a ball Earth. The same could be just as easily modeled onto a square Earth or any other shape, and therefore cannot be used as proof of Earth's roundity. Yeah, the only thing is, okay, the reason that you said cubed Earth and not flat Earth is solely because you know that things would still have to link up. You start at point A, you go all the way around, you end at point A. But on a flat Earth, the reason why there's no Google Earth on a flat Earth is because if you start at point A and you go all the way around, oh, you're on the bottom side of the Earth. And what's there? I don't know, because that doesn't exist. And so, yeah, you said a three-dimensional shape because there's no two-dimensional shape that would work for that. But yeah, technically the Earth is not an exact sphere. Sphere. I'm sorry. Sphere. Sphere. Anyway. Okay. Okay, this is the same thing I said before, you know, of planes, or like, momentum, that's the word I was thinking. Momentum. The atmosphere moving. Momentum. Flights doing that. They take that. Inconsistent with the spring ball model. Momentum. Flights eastward. Momentum. Flights eastward of that. Momentum. Momentum. We just zoomed through, like, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We zoomed through 6. Okay. So the Earth is, oh, that's a cool image. Anyway, we are told that the Earth and the atmosphere spin together. That is true. No movement can be felt. You've said that same evidence 20 times, and I've disproven it 20 times. Momentum. 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 Over the years, they've changed their story. First, they maintained Earth was a perfect sphere. It's later changed to an obsolete spheroid, which is what it is now. Flattened at the poles. No, it does not look like that. That is not what it looks like. That's not what an oblate spheroid looks like. No, it is... Okay, listen. This is a way over-exaggeration, and this is a way over-exaggeration. When they say oblate spheroid, they mean a sphere is a rough estimate. They don't mean completely flat up and down there. They just mean like it's more egg-shaped than a sphere, but not like that. When they say pear, it doesn't actually like look like that. That doesn't even make any sense. That's just a meme. That's a meme. That's not even a thing. That's just fake. That's literally just fake. The reason they say pear is because a pear is bigger on, like, wider on one end and thinner on another end. Not because it, like, curves inward and upward like that. It's not that drastic. Why are they bringing the Bible into this? The Bible! and many other holy books describe and purport the existence of a geocentric stationary flat Earth. For example, First Chronicles 16:30 and Psalm 96:10 both read, "He has fixed the earth firm, immovable." Okay, so firm, immovable, meaning like no individual would be able to change the entire outcome of the earth. It's more of a like spiritual sense, not like exactly legitimate. And Psalm 93:1 says, "The world is also established that it cannot be moved." The world cannot be moved by any singular human. It cannot be like just transported anywhere you want to go. You can't just slap it in your pocket. The Bible also repeatedly affirms that the earth is outstretched as a plane, with the outstretched heavens everywhere above, not all around, giving the scriptural proof that the earth is not a spinning ball. Keep in mind, friends, that first, the Bible was not written by God or Jesus. The Bible was written by disciples and prophets and all of those folks. Next, knowledge was not where it is now. Like things like the Bible does have inconsistencies. Now listen, I'm a true Christian and I am absolutely a follower of God, all right? The Bible has its inconsistencies, of course, such as one that I really like. Genesis 32:30 is, and the wording changed a little bit throughout. Genesis 32:30, "For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved." John 1:18, "No man hath seen God at any time but the Son, the one and only." So the Bible has inconsistencies. But the point is not to prove if the earth is round or if someone has seen God. The earth is to like get a sense for the spiritual world and like the afterlife, like what happens after you die and like all that. Like, you know, the main deity. Like there's not anyway. 190 cultures the world. Okay, wait, what? Cultures the world. Oh, whoa, voice crack. Let me try that one more time. Cultures the world over throughout history. Oh, I think they mean all over. What? That doesn't. This wording doesn't even make sense. Cultures the world over throughout history. Have all described and purported the existence of geocentric stationary flat Earth. Egyptians, Indians, Mayans, Chinese, Native Americans, and literally every ancient civilization on Earth had a flat Earth cosmology. Well, the reason being is that that's the only thing they had to go based off of back then until, what do you know, we got smarter. You see, that's like saying, wait, cavemen weren't real. Why didn't they just turn on their lights? Why'd they have to start fires? That's so fake. Well, they should have just pressed the light switch. No, technology has advanced and we have learned more. 10 remaining. I've been recording this video for a straight 3 hours, 22 minutes, and 4 seconds. This is going to be a big video. From Pythagoras to Copernicus, Galileo to Newton, to modern astronauts like Aldrin, Armstrong, and Collins, the director of NASA and Grand Commander of the 33rd Degree C, Fred Kleinet. Sure. The founding fathers of the spinning ball mythos, I don't know, have all been Freemasons. The fact that so many members of this, the largest and oldest secret society in existence, I'm getting tired, have all been co-conspirators bringing about the literal planetary revolution is beyond the possibility of coincidence and provides proof of organized collusion in creating and maintaining this multi-generational deception. I think that's the dumbest thing I've read so far, honestly. I think that's like me saying, that's like if I were to say, guys, crayons are actually just markers. But we all just pretend that they're crayons, and everyone who has crayons and thinks they're crayons just pretends that they're crayons. Because we don't want you to know that they're actually markers, so they can sell more crayons, not markers. But everyone who believes it, they're conspirators, because we know. 9 left. We're in the single digits remaining. The system of the universe, taught by... Why do they just circle the hands of them? There's no reason to do that. Anyway. The system of the universe is taught by modern astronomers, being founded entirely on theory, for the truth of which they are unable to advance one single real proof. They have entrenched themselves in a conspiracy of silence and decline to answer any objections which may be made to their hypotheses. Copernicus himself, who received the theory of the heathen, is that how you say that? Heathen? I don't know. Heathen church philosopher Pythagoras, and his great exponent Sir Isaac Newton confessed that their systems of a revolving Earth was only a possibility and could not be proved by facts. Only their followers who have decorated it with the name of extra science, or exact science. Yeah, okay. So, technology has gotten better, so we've been able to prove that they were correct. Next, please. No child or I'm sorry, I just kind of dozed off. I just started looking off in the distance. No child or unindoctrinated man in their right mind would ever conclude or even conceive, given to their own devices based on their own personal observations, that the Earth was a spinning ball revolving around the sun. Okay, so that's bandwagon, cool. Such imaginative theories nowhere present in anyone's daily experience require and have required massive amounts of constant propaganda uphold the illusion. Yeah, you got it. People saw Pluto the dog in the moon, and they were like, "Hey, the moon has to be a sphere too, because Pluto's in it." That's some good evidence right there. I think they just started running out. This doesn't make sense, by the way. That was sarcasm. This does not make sense. Oh my gosh! I remember being taught one day by the boy, the Earth was a great ball revolving around the sun. When I expressed to my teacher my fears of the ocean. My fears that waters of the ocean would tumble off. I was told that they were prevented by doing so by Newton's great law of gravitation, which kept everything in proper place. I presume that... Sure. I bet you say... But any value, the conditions must be the case, the metal, hollow vessel, or the ball... And the continuous curvature on the outside, which convenient laws could not retain any water. What? Gravity holds the water in. Next. Astronomers say the magical magnetism of gravity is what keeps the oceans and the world stuck to the ball Earth. They claim that because the Earth is so massive by virtue, spinning a wet tennis ball, for instance, has the exact opposite effect of the supposed ball Earth. Oh my gosh! I thought these were jokes. When people said this, I was like, oh, these are just funny jokes that people are saying to just be funny. Like, oh, how come when I pour water on a tennis ball, it doesn't fall off, or like it falls off, but when I pour water on the Earth, it doesn't? That's because the gravity of a tennis ball, which it does have, is not nearly enough to overpower the gravity of the Earth. If the tennis ball was the size of the sun, then yeah, the water would go towards the sun, along with the entire Earth swallowing us all. Next one. In short, the sun, moon, and stars are actually doing precisely what everyone thought all throughout history they'd see to do. We do not believe what our eyes are telling us because we have been taught to count physicists 24 hours, 1,000 miles per hour. No one has ever seen or felt such movement. Okay, momentum. Next. Why do they just keep getting longer? All right. Some people claim there's no motive for such a grand-scale deception. Exactly, there's not. By removing the Earth from the motionless center of the universe, these are God's creation. But here's just one of the billion planets and galaxies, ideas of God creation. So you're saying that it's God's will that the Earth is flat. That's just not true. That's literally just not true. Okay. He was the object of... Okay, so they're saying if you believe in a round Earth, you're not a follower of God. Excuse me, what? So that doesn't make sense. I disprove that by being alive. I'm a Christian. I'm a very strong Christian. Go to church, go to youth group. And I'm making this video. Next. 3 more! 3 more! Some say the idea of that is a conspiracy to delude masses. The sign of impulse are unrealistic. People need to familiarize. Of course, they had to bring the Illuminati into this. That's great. The exact plan which this has been carried out is completely disclosed. That's not even proof of the flat Earth. That's just saying round earthers are part of a secret government group to take down the universe or some stupid garbage that makes no sense. Yeah, no. So that's not even close to right. There's no evidence of a flat Earth in there. That they're literally just saying that we are, if you believe in a round Earth, you're dumb. But they actually have it backwards. Next, 199. The one thing the fable of a revolving Earth has done is shown terrible power of a lie, deny plane, sun see before him, makes him feel sad, emotion, finally in order to uphold the imagination, he is prepared to accuse the maker of forming something a lie. Okay, so, Bible is not written by God, Bible was written by disciples and followers and all that of God. Next. Are we on the last one? We're on the last one! How long have I been recording this thing? How long have I been recording this video? I have been recording this video for 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 18 seconds. Oh my word, friends. Okay. Here we go. Why? Okay. 200! And finally, from Dr. Robothem, I cannot pronounce his name. Thus, we see that this Newtonian philosophy is devoid of consistency. Its details are the result of an entire violation of the laws of legitimate reasoning, and all its premises are assumed. It is, in fact, nothing more than the assumption upon assumption, and the conclusions derived therefrom are willfully considered as things proved, and to be employed as truths to substantiate. It's too late for this right now. The first and fundamental assumptions, such a juggle and jumble of fancies and falsehoods, extended and intensified as in theoretical astronomy, is calculated to make the unprejudiced inquirer, I'm so bad at reading, revolt with horror from the terrible conjuration. Okay, I need to get like a reading specialist to help me or something. Which has been practiced upon him, to sternly resolve to resist its further progress. Okay, I'm just losing track of where I am. Let's see. To endeavor to overthrow the entire edifice, okay, and to bury in its ruins the false honors which have been associated with its fabricators, and which still attach to its devotees, I don't know. For the learning, the patience, and the perseverance and devotion for which they have ever been examples. Honor and applause need not be withheld, but their false reasoning, the advantages they have taken of the general ignorance of mankind in respect to astronomical subjects, and the unfounded theories they have advanced and defended, cannot be otherwise than regretted, and ought to be by every possible means uprooted. So they're saying that we don't have any proof, and that we're just saying this because we want to. We were hoping that we have the off chance of being right, so we can look smart. I literally gave 199 other reasons why that's wrong. Wait, I need a drink. Hold on. That was 200! That was awful. That was painful. That hurt my brain cells. Let me get myself full screen real quick. That was the most painful experience, I think, ever. That took a long time, and it just made me lose brain cells. I'm sure that almost no one stayed to the end, but you probably fast-forwarded to the end. So welcome back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for watching however much of it you watched. I don't care if you didn't watch the whole thing. Make sure to please drop a like and please subscribe. Only a small percentage of you guys are subscribed, and it really helps out the channel. As of recording this, I'm very close to 400 subscribers, and I'm so excited to get there. So even if you think you're subscribed, just go down and check. You don't have to subscribe, but it's nice if you go down and look. And you can always unsubscribe if you don't like the content or you grow away from the channel, but it really does help me out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this 3-hour video, this almost 4-hour video now. I'll see you guys next Sunday with another brand new Epic Y-Tube video. If you're new to the channel, they're not normally this long, or even close. I usually keep them within like the 10-minute range, something like that. Anyway, yeah, this was your lucky day. You get a 3.5-hour long special of me. That's it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Join my Discord. Links in the description. Share this on Facebook with all of the people. Share this with everyone you think believes in a flat earth. Everyone you think believes in a flat earth. I disproved every single flat earth theory on the official Flat Earth 101 website. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Follow me on Twitter. Do the socials. Find me on Instagram and Snapchat if you can. Good luck. I don't have links or anything. I will see you guys next week.